We're taking off with 9 hours of live and local LA Sports Talk.
The home of the 9-hour LA Sports Mega Block.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking.
We call it the LAX, LA Sports Mega Block. Of course, powered every day by LAX, Los Angeles International Airport, where change arrives daily. Let's get to it. Time to get in the air. We're taking off, LA.
We have clearance, Clarence.
Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Travis and Sliwa has clearance right now.
Yeah! Andy Kamenetsky in the house for Slee today, who is still out and about wherever he is. We'll get into that in just a few minutes. How you feeling, Andy?
Feeling good, man.
Feeling good? Looking good? You ready for your big moment on stage on Saturday night?
I believe so, yes. We've been going through the material, tightening it, very important. Tightening it.
A tight, 25, 30 minutes?
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to print out some of the jokes that we are going to do, some of the roast material, and just hand it to the audience. They can read it at their
like
leisure.
a flyer.
Yeah, I know. No, we just want to expedite this thing. I mean,
on your way home, folks, take a look at this.
Well,
here's what we cut. It's like deleted scenes.
Yes, yeah, it's going to be like the outtakes from a DVD, something like that. What we just don't. We want to make sure everybody gets what they came for, which is Chris on stage.
Well, I think that's what everybody's signing up for sure.
I have a question for you. Also,
Roars to you,
Buenos
dias,
so,
Buenos dias.
My question is, Trav, cover yours, please. Will you allow me to do a 2-minute set on Trav and how old he is?
You got to run that by Chris. I mean, that's really
okay.
that's not up to me.
About 30 seconds.
Every single one of those precious seconds, again, is a second that Chris isn't on stage.
I think that if the payoff is her trying to and probably successfully humiliate me, then Chris will more than happily give away 2 of his minutes to you.
Travis is so
or
old.
2 of mine.
How old am I?
Yeah, that's the majority of the thing is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, look, again.
Call and response?
Yeah.
Emily, you got to clear this with Chris. If Chris ultimately decides that those 2 minutes are a better use of the overall Mandy's time than our roast, I'll understand. I cannot promise you anything that equals longer time that's been allotted. You may have noticed the last year I've been hearing a lot about this.
I think you go longer. I think you double down. Like however much you did last year, add 40%.
Well, apparently we did 21 minutes. It did not feel like 21 minutes.
No way.
That is what both Morales and Ireland insist, is that we went 21 minutes. Frankly, I feel like we would have been like, whoa.
21 minutes is a long time.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I don't think we went. That's like a quarter and a half of basketball.
Yeah,
I don't think we went that long.
That is a very
But that's
long time.
also what like a typical opener does for like a comedian, like a
You know,
set.
but that's a long time.
We
on
did not
stage.
consider ourselves typical openers of a comedy set.
It's
we thought it went well, but let's
it was
keep
good.
perspective.
I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. Emily, I have a feeling, and who knows, that you are going to get an opportunity to say whatever you would like to say when you accept your Producer of the Year award.
The first thing that I say.
That is my hope. That is my expectation, and that when you go up there to thank all the little people that have made it possible in your life, I think you're going to have your minute or two to do/attack whoever you would like.
No, I'm going to take the mic and I go, yeah. Again, Travis is so old.
How old am I?
He was the very first person to use a fast pass at Disney World. I don't know. It's something. I'll make it better.
We'll work on it, Emily.
I'll make it better.
Well, I think, you know what? I never really put 2 and 2 together until just this very second. I think it's your fault, Andy, and your brother Brian's for the age discrimination that I find here at 710, because your entire like joke or two about me last year was that I'm old and decrepit.
Old looking and decrepit. That was part of what the joke was. We established you're not even that old. You just look it.
You know,
see, this is bullying. Where's HR?
It's funny because I just take all of my stuff from the Cam brothers, so they're just my biggest influence, and I just heighten it a little bit.
I understand. Well, yours seems to be more biting. Again, here's why. This is the same reason that when Michael said I look like George Niang during a Lakers broadcast, because George Niang has dad bod, and
But he's a professional basketball player.
It wasn't that Michael said that I looked like a fat NBA player. It's that Ireland took this glee in Michael attacking me. And I think that's the difference. While, Andy, I believe that you are doing it from a position, I could be wrong here, of general lightheartedness and good nature.
Yes.
I believe that Emily really enjoys the vitriol that comes along with it.
You're not wrong. And then Jorge is my little laughter in the corner.
No, he's the devil on everybody's shoulder.
I stay in the gray area.
Yeah.
You're like,
everything's good.
I'll say something in the studio. He's like, you should say it on air. You should say it. And then I'll say it.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you this. Have you ever said, don't say that on air to her?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's like, hey, what do you think of this? I'm like, no.
No, don't do that.
When in doubt, leave it out.
Don't do that. It is a live Imaging Tuesday. Morales will be in here eventually. I think, I don't know if it's the train or something.
But there is an announcement at 4:30 that you can look forward to. There's going to be a special announcement on Stano and Cap.
I believe we dubbed it a major announcement week here on 710 yesterday when Chris came in and announced that SC was returning to the 710 airwaves yesterday at the beginning of the Travis Slee show. Beto was in yesterday. That today the major announcement is coming at 4:30. So you're going to have to listen.
And it's a biggie.
All day. It is a biggie.
It's a biggie.
It is a biggie. Looking forward to it.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. Saturday night is going to be great. How many? What's the proper number of challenges that I accept? Because I'm on the fence. It's either going to be 0 or multiple. Those there's not. It's not going to be like 1 or 2. It's going to be 0 or. Let's get this thing going a little bit.
Can you set up a table and charge $20 per challenge?
That guy, like the guy at the Bills game, that guy is.
You'll make money.
That guy might beat the dude who took me out at Pizza Hut a couple of weeks ago. That guy haunts me in my dreams. Like that guy's my absolute nemesis, my Lex Luthor, if you will.
I love that he showed up in uniform, like ready to take you down.
He looked like, I'm trying to think of, like a cross between, and I understand what I'm saying. This guy was a big guy. He's probably 6'3" or 4". He's a big man. But his look was, and he was burly, like on a lumberjacky burly, big bushy beard, muscular, barrel-chested, big dude, right? Intimidating looking guy. But he also had kind of like a leprechaun vibe. It was a very
redhead.
Yeah, that reddish brown and the big kind of like Irish style beard. I believe that's called the Donegal beard. And he was terrifying and yet charming at the same time, and he had a I Love Beer t-shirt, and he was eyeballing me across the day the whole way. Is that right, Andy? Donegal beard? I'm
seeing a Donegal beard. It is also known as a Shenandoah, a Lincoln,
Virginia.
Yeah, or a Whaler.
Oh, I'm going to start calling it a Whaler.
Or a chin curtain.
Chin curtain or Whaler are the top six.
It would appear, though, that the formal name for the beard, the first
Donegal.
one, no, it's actually the Shenandoah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Shenandoah. That's
I got
Virginia.
to judge a Donegal beard contest at a local brewery in Houston when I was a talk show host out there. It was one of the highlights of my career.
So can you recount again one more time what that Pizza Hut interaction was like? So in my mind, to me, it feels like it's my friend here and I like your vibe. Do you want to go out, do a beer chugging competition?
I believe it was a regular listener of the show, and I apologize for not being remember who was the kind of the broker in this exchange, but we were doing, I believe it was the Final Four or the NCAA tournament. We were out at Pizza Hut for a remote, and a bunch of listeners came out. We're hanging out on the patio in Anaheim, and I see this guy, and he's just enormous, just big, strong, burly guy, and somebody comes up to me and says, "You see that guy over there?" I'm like, "Yeah, how could I miss him? He's a 6'4" ripped lumberjack, leprechaun-looking guy. Of course I know who he is." And he's like, "He wants to take you on in a chugging contest." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay," thinking, all right. And then this guy just eyeballed me the rest of the day, and he obliterated me when it came time to do it. Like, I'm pretty fast. Like, I have not lost one of those in a very long time, and this man absolutely destroyed me. Look at you.
What up?
Look at you. All skinny. DeMarco Farr in the house.
Look at you. You're well fit over there.
You're my inspiration. That's the Palos Verdes girls softball all-star hat.
Yes, and I will never wash it.
I will
never wash it. This is championship dirt right
Oh,
here.
did you win?
Well, second place.
Okay.
We lost with a man on third. We struck out looking. Come
Looking.
on. Struck out looking.
No.
Struck out looking. Yeah, it's cool.
How you
though.
been?
Good, man. Rocking
Yeah.
and rolling.
Are you working today?
No, I'm going to record something with Jorge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for Juneteenth. Yeah.
Nice.
Let me get it out. I'll get it later.
Okay.
But yeah, so hanging out and trying to figure out what Jason Tatum was trying to say last night
What do you mean?
with his championship celebration.
He was excited.
That was boring. Come on, man. Give me
The
something.
whole
We
postseason
did
was boring.
it!
The whole postseason was so. Celtics win was at number 18?
18.
One more than the Lakers.
Yeah.
So Laker fans are obviously struggling with that this morning.
Are you really? Really? Are you upset about it?
I'm not, but I think I'm in the minority.
I am a Laker fan. Like, I'm a diehard Laker fan. I'll be honest, though. I actually think the chase between Boston and Lakers for ownership of the most championships is actually a little bit more fun when it goes back and forth. Like, I know I'm in the minority with this. Like, I'm in the stark minority. But to me, it actually becomes more fun when pole position changes, and maybe it's just recency bias, but knowing that ever since the modern NBA began, the David Stern, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, MJ era that we now live in, the Lakers have had so much more
It's not even close.
sustained success than Boston. Maybe that's in part why I don't sweat it. I don't think it's Pollyanna, but maybe that is.
The Lakers and the Celtics, I know that they're historic rivals, right? That going back to the Jerry West days and prior to that, and certainly
rest,
through the 80s with Magic and Bird.
Yeah.
But they have not been direct rivals other than one or two occasions in the last 30-plus years.
Okay, I'll put this in perspective. Kobe one time talked about during a practice how, Kobe growing up was a Laker fan.
Yeah.
He was a big-time Laker fan, even in Philadelphia and Italy as a teenager. His grandfather used to send him VHS tapes that he would record of Laker games and stuff like that. So Kobe grew up steeped in Laker culture. He even admitted when he first got drafted by the Lakers, it took several years before the Boston thing really meant something to him.
Oh, wow.
Because when he got there, the Celtics weren't good.
Right.
So they weren't playing for stakes. Like, in order for a rivalry to mean something to you other than the history, you have to experience it with stakes.
True.
Like, and it took Kobe like over a decade for that to really happen for him.
It bothers me when this is like college football, when people talk about Nebraska and they just get buried. Like Scott Frost was out at practice, and Nebraska was bad when he was head coach. And it's not a big thing to beat Nebraska. Back in my day,
Huge
beating
deal.
Nebraska was huge.
No, when Tom Osborne had that thing cranked up, that was the team to
It
beat.
meant something. Beating Miami in Miami meant something back in the day. So I still carry that flag, that banner. Anytime you beat the rival, even if they're down, it still matters. But the Lakers-Celtics rivalry would matter more to me if the Lakers and the Celtics were actually playing for the championship.
That's
Then
a
it would mean
totally
something.
different
2008
animal.
through
Totally different
2010,
animal.
Yeah.
maybe even up to 2011 because you're dealing with revenge, all that sort of stuff. It truly meant something. They exchanged titles.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, but good Lord, Jason Tatum, come on, dude. At least have a program response, bro.
Well, it's not. I mean, especially when you had a big lead like that through the whole series, they never got tested the entire time.
Kill the bull by now. Yeah,
We're going to get into all that. DeMarco, I'm glad you're here because both the last time this came up, Andy was in studio as well, and Emily still is giving me a hard time about this.
What?
Will you try to explain to them, because I know you and I have had this conversation, and you and I, it turns out, we got to know each other pretty well over the last 8 or 9 years.
Whatever it is, I'm already
together.
on your side.
Thank
because
you.
it's Emily. Yeah.
When you go for a walk, you have your head on a swivel, don't you, for fear of being snatched?
Yes.
See?
Yes.
See?
What? You don't believe it?
She
They're
thinks that because we're
unsnatchable.
both bigger guys,
that
we're unsnatchable. And my retort to that is always
chloroform.
Maybe that's exactly what I said. Only I said ether instead of chloroform.
Right.
Same thing.
We can be rendered unconscious.
I could be walking down. That's why I don't wear earbuds.
Are you saying
when
we
I
don't
watch.
have value on the world?
Snatcher doesn't want you. You have no value.
But we could be the ultimate prize. What if they like, I've gotten all the little guys. I want the big one.
The big
now.
ones now.
He's hiding
Yeah.
behind the tree. I have my earbuds in. I don't see him. It's dusky, right? He's hiding in the shadows.
Yes.
And the next thing I know, I'm
Somebody
has
has
him
been
in a van.
As I've tried to explain, though, before, someone could decide DeMarco is the ultimate prize because they're thinking about ransom and, in their mind, NFL money.
Or big booty fetish.
Right. Whatever. Big booty fetish. There's a pot for every lid.
Something.
That right.
Respectfully, You just don't fit, Travis, the ultimate prize
That's
profile.
that's what they want you to think. That's how they get you, Andy.
You're not
is
an
by
ultimate
lulling
prize.
you
Right.
into a sense of false security.
Yes.
And I'm just happy-go-lucky, willy-nilly, whistling
What's the
while I
end game?
Wind
want.
up in the
Snatching
basement of
you.
a super tanker.
What?
What's the end game?
To be able to
with
tell the other snatchers that he got one.
Like a big
I
fish
got him.
on Tinder.
Exactly, right? Like on the guy on the dock holding up the the big fish.
There
like,
he
this
is.
I
You're
got
losing
one.
weight?
I want to be able to run fast enough, right? But see, now I don't know how it works, but I would
Yeah.
imagine that it would take less ether to get me. Like maybe ether's hard to get. I don't know. I'm not in the market, but I see these are the things that you and I.
What's
know
your
where-
ether
I
guy
can-
charge,
I
Jordan?
can get you ether by 3 o'clock.
I don't want
You
it.
don't
I'm
wanna
just
know.
afraid that somebody else that does want it.
Wow.
Good to see
Yes, we do worry. Absolutely. I always keep my head on a swivel. You don't? You just walk?
No, I keep my head on the swivel because I am a young woman.
Well, yeah, we all should have our heads on multiple swivels.
Yes.
Yes.
There's people for everyone, like you
Okay.
said. Lid for every pot. Yes.
Good to see you, DeMarco.
Good to see you.
Are you coming
Yes,
to
sir.
Mandy's on Saturday night?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Excellent.
Am I still in the running for fill-in of the year?
I was
Sorry.
assuming
you
AK.
are.
Are we?
You are.
Yeah. Are we competitors?
Have you
Vote
campaigned?
D-Far. Vote D-Far. Vote D-Far.
It's over.
Did
It's
you
over?
ever?
Yeah.
Did you ever hear Michael Funch's his campaign to become producer of the year?
No.
I'm
What's-
here.
That's his thing?
That was his name.
God rest. Straight up Larry Allen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
That's all you
here.
get. Thank
Were
you
you
very
the one
much.
that was telling me the story about Larry Allen when he cracked your shoulder pads?
He ripped the laces out of my shoulder pads. Have you guys ever put on shoulder pads
Yes,
before?
yes.
You know the laces in the front, the ones
yeah.
you never touch? Yeah. He ripped the laces out of my shoulder pads.
I didn't even know those could be removed.
Right. So the rest of the game, I'm trying to hold my stuff together. Right. And I'm like, he ripped the laces out. Yeah. I said, Ray, you got him. I'm going to the other side and mess with Nate
Now,
Newton.
Larry Allen would be the ultimate prize. That's the
if
big
you
man
get
that could
him,
not
yeah,
be snatched.
that's a
That-
rhino.
That is for sure. I think I saw Chris floating around, so we get let's started here in just a little bit. Plus, the Celtics did get that title. Does it have a direct connection to the Lakers and what they do next? That's coming up. It's Trav and Slee. Andy's in for Slee on 710 ESPN. What if I'm the ultimate prize?
710. $710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. This fall, the new home of the USC Trojans.
The new home of the USC Trojans.
The Trojans are back.
The USC Trojans play on LA's mega sports station.
That's right. USC football, USC men's basketball, and USC women's basketball are on 710 ESPN coming this fall.
710 ESPN, the new home of the USC Trojans.
Live from LA Live. Travis and Sliwa on 710 ESPN.
And you thought there was going to be no lit today. It is a live imaging Tuesday presented by Kia of downtown LA. The train ran a few minutes behind. What can I do? Plus, I was running a few minutes behind.
One of those mornings?
It was one of those mornings. But you know, AK, sitting in for Slee, sometimes I'm worth the wait. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
By the way, if you attend Mandy's 3, look at these rally towels we got this year.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that beautiful? This might be one of the best things we've ever done. Party, party, oh party. Everybody in attendance is going to get that. Your last chance to get tickets is today to Mandy's 3, Saturday night at the Commerce Casino, ESPNLA.com. All tickets are $25. Right now, we got rid of the dinner and the cocktails. This is the baseline ticket, but it gets you in. By the way, do you want to be in? I'm going to take caller, well, actually, Emily's going to do it, but caller 7, 8, and 9 right now. You win a pair of tickets to the Mandy Awards Saturday night at the Commerce Casino. Doors open at 4 p.m. Caller 7, 8, and 9 at 877-710-ESPN. Say hi to Em and tell her you're going to be there. Now, don't call and win if you're not going to be there Saturday night, because then you're just taking somebody else's tickets. Or if you're going to try to sell them.
Secondary market?
On the secondary market.
You can get to see Andy and Brian's, what we land on, about 25-minute set.
25, 30,
It is
yeah.
earmarked for 7. And this year's a tight 7. We got a lot of stuff.
We were talking.
Although Keyshawn won't be there because the Witness Protection Network apparently
They
is
shut it
scared.
down?
They're scared to let him come
That's
with his
too
old
bad.
friends.
That's too bad.
Well, that'll keep the liquor budget lower.
Well, I mean,
Will help.
when he walked out of the car service last year, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, walk there is doing a lot of work.
End up.
Yes. Got to the car.
Arrive in that spot.
Many people said to me after that show, like, you did a lot of work tonight, and not even about like the usual work, just carrying
Just
tea.
standing him up, upright, the entire show.
At the end of the show, when he started doing the pony on me, I thought I was going to suffocate. It's a big man.
Yes,
It's a big guy. Did he really go 21 minutes last year? Is that an official?
21-14,
or is that an
I believe.
exaggeration? That's an actual TRT.
I feel like we would have become self-conscious at the prospect of being up there. Like, that's a quarter and a half of basketball. That feels too long. Like, I would not want to be up there that long.
Go for 25.
25.
You should do it.
We'll do 3 how about this? 3 installments of 7 minutes.
Emily's made a request that how much time did you? Oh, she's on the phone. I believe, was it 3 minutes that she asked
said
for,
2
Andy?
to 3 minutes. I said
she
you
would
have to
like
work it
2
out
to
with
3
Chris.
minutes of her own time.
What is she going to do?
She wants to call me old for 3 minutes.
Oh, I'm sure that'll be entertaining for everyone.
See?
What? That was sarcasm. I don't think that's 3 minutes of material. But if she has 3 minutes of material, I forgot which award she's giving out. She's giving out one of the ones in the first half of the show, and but she can bring the heat. I've got her producing with Brian Cohen. We're like combining some things differently than last year.
Okay.
So we'll see. And see. Brian probably only has about 10 seconds. Not in a bad way. He's just
Brian is a high percentage shooter. He's not a volume shooter.
Listen, he's going to be high up there in the clouds when he walks up on stage. I'm just guessing. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I will be too.
Oh, yeah? That's your strategy?
Oh, well, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Wait a minute. You think a Cy Young type pitcher of myself when it comes to performing goes out there with nothing on the ball? You think I'm not putting some Vaseline, a little pine tar, some spit?
That surprises me a little bit, if I'm being honest. Not nothing, but that is the substance of choice.
I figured he was going Doc Ellis, the LSD.
That would be more.
Can you imagine?
That would be
just walk out there naked.
Tequila Mandala sort of situation.
No, whoa. Mandala's on stage for me. Yeah, no, there'll be Mandala.
I did not think there would be the other.
Oh, yeah, just a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little taste to loosen up.
I'd say this without judgment. I'm just surprised.
Yeah. Can't do the other stuff because then everybody's going to, you start playing with your nose too much all night. People are like, oh, see? Can't do that.
Allergies.
Yeah.
Seasonal.
Exactly.
Santa Ana's.
All right.
What's going on today, Christopher?
Well, J.J. Redick, this news as Mandy's week and all the weeks leading up to this and all the different things we've tried to do, J.J. and the Lakers have really ran us behind. So is today the news? Is that what you're getting deep inside the El Segundo information tower, Andy, that today is the day?
I mean, if not today, what's the delay? Let's move this along, because it's felt like the only reason the Lakers don't have a coach, other than Dan Hurley saying no,
right,
is they've been waiting out J.J. Redick to be freed from finals responsibilities in order to formally hire him.
Now, are we supposed to go wall-to-wall coverage? Like, in theory, if he came out of nowhere, like Hurley, Those days we went wall to wall. But I feel like this is sort of like, okay, yeah, we figured. Thanks.
But I think the hire isn't a huge surprise because he's like Andy said, we've been waiting for the finals to end so this can become official. Jay Williams was on Get Up this morning, and he was saying, once JJ Redick, like he said it like it was already done. I don't think anybody's going to be surprised that he's the choice. I think what is interesting, and I think where the conversation is how much and for how long. That I think is the entire story, not the who, but the how much and the how long. Because if it is the standard deal, if it's the Darvin Ham deal, if it's the Frank Vogel deal, if it's
like 3 years and a team option for the fourth,
if it's that, then I think there's a whole bunch to talk about. If it's more like what Dan Hurley was allegedly reportedly offered, then I think that means something entirely different. The how much and the how long is the big difference.
If I'm Redick, I care way more about the years than the money. Like, I'm already rich. Like, JJ Redick already is in a money-generating situation as it is between ESPN, between the podcasts, between the money that he made as an NBA player. To me, the years matter way more because that's how you know you're going to be set up for more support, for more of a long-term vision to actually grow as a coach. Like, there's no point to giving this to JJ Redick if you're going to immediately put him on the clock. Well, he's never coached before.
He's got to figure out what he does and doesn't know. Right. He's got to figure out what he's good and what he isn't good at. He's got to figure out what he does and doesn't want from assistant coaches, how to connect and how not to connect with players. That you don't show up day one and know how to do all those things. There's going to be all sorts of bumps along the road. And if it's a, air quote, standard deal, good luck. And we were talking a little bit before the show, Andy. Do you, and Chris, I remember when we were talking about this last week with Dan Hurley, with you, if I'm not getting the Dan Hurley type of offer, I don't know if I'm dying to do this.
Particularly the years. Like if I'm Redick, when you already have a great situation and there is no pressing need to do this right now, like he will have opportunities down the road to coach. Sure. I can promise this. Without it, at minimum, the years, if I'm Redick, I would not personally want to do this. I mean, I can't speak for JJ Redick, but if it were me in that situation, without at least 5 years on my deal, maybe 6, I would not want to do it.
Certainly more than what Ham and Vogel and the rest of them got. There has to be some commitment beyond the short term because look at what just happened last night in Boston. I think it's the other side of that, franchise-defining coin, that legacy program in the NBA, the way the Celtics are doing it, the way that the Lakers are doing it. That's next on a lit Tuesday. Andy's in for Slee on 710 ESPN.
6 goals for Denis Bouin.
710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. This fall, the new home of the USC Trojans.
The new home of the USC Trojans.
The Trojans are back.
The USC Trojans play on LA's mega sports station.
That's right. USC football, USC men's basketball, and USC women's basketball are on 710 ESPN coming this fall.
710 ESPN, the new home of the USC Trojans.
at East LA Sound. I love it when Jorge pulls out the oldies on a Tuesday. I am your puppet with the dedication from Laura in West Covina, going out to Little Spider in El Monte.
Send another 20.
I need a new phone card, baby. I'm coming home in a few years. Don't worry. I tried to steal that car for you, baby. 10:32 in the Southland. It is dark in here. What are we doing about the lighting situation?
I'm not in charge of that.
We know that. I'm well aware when I said that.
Chris, do you know how many times I've brought up the fact that it's dark in here?
But we were like,
today is not the first day. I've been
Jorge, you're in television. The TVs are the lights are failing. Where are we going to get? Can we go steal some over the weekend?
Do we have a budget for new light bulbs? Because they're expensive.
It's not light bulbs. We need those.
Those light bulbs are expensive.
And it's so dark. It's so dark in there. You need your sunglasses on.
Well, no, that's just the bit. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks for playing.
Maybe if you take off the sunglasses, it won't be dark anymore.
But then that goes out the bit. Hold on, Travis.
I know what a bit is, Chris.
Or do you? Because if you knew what the bit is, you would know that this is the bit.
Oh, okay. Stop. I know it's the bit, but then you're complaining about it being so dark in there. Just take off your sunglasses.
I'm worried about being dark for the video that we do.
Okay.
And YouTube.
Okay, Chris.
Someone just lost their 3 minutes on stage making fun of Travis.
See? I've been trying to tell you.
What? Oh, about her?
You don't put your head in the lion's mouth.
What am I concerned about?
Oh, see now, never mind.
Honestly.
Never mind.
Put his head in whatever mouth.
Get darker glasses.
I mean, honestly, the stuff I have to deal with, I love Emily, but even on a bad day, Emily is still light years better than the nonsense I have to deal with from 1 to 4. I mean, we know what's going to happen. If that JJ news gets announced, we're going wall to wall, 1 to 4.
Kind of a big deal.
Is it?
Yes.
But we already know.
I understand, but the terms matter.
Yeah, we know. Come on. Everybody's going to go, wow, that's a surprise. JJ got the job after they lost out on the other guy they wanted?
No, but if they give him the Darvin Ham deal, it's like, okay, we're going to be
that's what I'm saying.
We're going to be firing him in 2 years.
Do you really think he's getting anything more than that?
I think
Honestly.
there's a chance. Yeah, I do.
I think they should give it to him.
I think there's a chance.
You think that he's going to get 6 years, $80 million?
6 is a lot. I don't know. I think he'll get 5 because they have to. They opened the door to what comes next. And if you go back to the other guy and say, yeah, that's not for you, that's only for him, now what the hell are you doing?
There's also, again, the idea that J.J. Redick has no pressing reason to do this.
Well, that I agree with, except he's Team LeBron. And maybe LeBron. But, they never talk about it when they do their podcast. And by the way, have you noticed on that podcast they wear sunglasses a lot, Em?
Okay.
Now, I can't see directly with them because they've got this iPad camera blocking me, so I can't see the video, so I got to turn my head.
Are you guys just going to have a conversation about who can see who and who's got glasses
I can see him through the iPad.
I think Em and I doing that would be more entertaining than talking about J.J. Redick.
Go ahead, then. Knock yourself out.
Honestly, if they are really going to give 6 years to a guy who has never coached, who does a podcast with LeBron, and is your second choice now, really? That's the future.
Yes.
We really believe he's Pat Riley that
Chris,
much?
He is the future, whether it's the right future or not. He is the future. Otherwise, they would have hired somebody else.
I guess
he is the future. The question is, how much of the future? Is he 2 years of the future? Is he 5 years of the future? He's the future. It may be as short-lived as Darvin. It may be as short-lived as Vogel. It may be as short-lived as D'Antoni and Mike Brown and Luke Walton and all the other guys that they fired through over the 7 years.
7 seed again.
But the future that you're talking about is, that's the future.
And we know JJ could be the next Pat Riley, but the next 2 seasons, they're going to be a 7 seed at best.
Of course they are.
So when that happens and people lose their mind, hey, man, we thought JJ.
But it's not JJ. Just like it was, Darvin was not a good coach.
Oh, you almost said it.
Darvin was not a good coach.
You almost said it wasn't Darvin Ham's fault.
But he wasn't the reason they were a 7th place team. He was a bad coach of a team or in charge of a team that had the talent level of a 7th place team.
Darvin Ham was not the proverbial solution, but he was not the only problem.
Right.
Like, you can have more than one problem at once. I mean, they gained 7 wins over Darvin's first season with the Lakers. I think it was 7 or 8 wins. Like, they were not unsuccessful. Like, they were not a complete failure under Darvin. He lost the locker room and had to go. But it's all about, are they willing to support J.J. Redick or not?
There was something on ESPN this morning about the way too early power rankings for next season. Okay. Right. The Lakers in the 30-team NBA landed 15th, and in the 15th Western Conference teams, they were 8th. They're exactly in the middle of the pile. There is not a move that takes them to the top of the pile, and they're way too good to go to the bottom of the pile. They are exactly where they've been for, 6 of the last 7 years, and will very, very likely be there next year as well. And it has nothing to do with who the coach is going to be. The coach has to be hired based on getting the most out of this, best you can, whatever that is, and be ready for whatever comes after LeBron James decided he's played enough.
To me, it's a matter of, because I've doubted this about the Lakers for over a decade, to be fair to Rob Pelinka, predating Rob Pelinka by years. Do they actually care about the position of coach? Like, is this something that actually matters to them? Because the evidence has not been there that they actually care.
Okay, counterpoint, then why fire them as frequently as they do? If they're really basically indifferent to it, why not let these guys at least get closer to the end of the
Because they're
line?
impatient. They're very impatient. Like, they want the results, but I don't think they think the coach necessarily matters in the process, but they feel external pressure. You got to fire somebody, whatever. Like, there have been a couple times where I thought they cared. Like, when they hired Luke Walton, like Mitch Kupchak said on the record, we let Byron go right now because we felt like Luke might not be available if we waited much longer. Like, that's one of the few times where it's felt like they cared. But Frank Vogel won a championship, but I don't think they ever bought into Frank Vogel because he was at best their third choice, probably their fourth choice. And ultimately, they let a power struggle between Vogel and Russell Westbrook, who they knew Westbrook was going to be on this team at most one more season. They ultimately chose the player.
So let's I want to stop you right there, because go to the Westbrook thing and look at what happened last night, right? Look at what happened with Tatum and Brown and the Celtics and what they've built and what they've created. And it's been slow, but not that slow, that they got 2 really good players. And then they had Brad Stevens as the coach, who went into the front office, who hired Ime Udoka, who was a really good coach, and then for reasons that had nothing to do with basketball was let go. Joe Mazzulla steps in, gets them across the finish line. They've made slight course corrections along the way, right? But the essence of what they are, these are our 2 guys, not these big giant swings. Smaller, Marcus Smart out. They get Drew Holiday more because of what Milwaukee does than anything that lands in their lap necessarily. And then the Lakers with Russell Westbrook was your last chance to maybe try to let this thing grow a little roots. And instead, they put Russell Westbrook in there and it blows up. And now, fast forward a couple of seasons from then, and you're still kind of right where you were even with Russell Westbrook, only you've added 2 or 3 years to LeBron James's odometer. It's the difference between being impulsive, and you were talking about impatient, and having a vision and a strategy that you let play out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that they never thought about breaking up Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Like, it's been well reported that they've thought about making trades in particular involving Jaylen Brown, but it was always for guys who made sense, that you could at least understand the logic. Like, with Westbrook, everything had to go perfect in order for that to work. Like, even if you were willing to be somewhat optimistic about it, you knew everything had to go right because it was going to be complicated. Russell Westbrook may be the least blendable player in the entire league.
History of the league.
Right. So, I mean, like, you knew going into that is a massive, massive swing that you didn't have to take unless you're impatient.
Who made them take it? Who made them take it?
No.
Who made them take it?
LeBron and AD wanted this,
okay.
But at the end of the day, so did Rob Pelinka.
No, but who made them take it?
No.
Come on.
No.
That's silly. You sound so silly.
It's not silly because Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss, contrary to popular belief,
and they wanted all the coaches fired too, right?
Well, no. Yeah, they do.
Okay. But LeBron had nothing to do with that.
They've been firing coaches well before LeBron and AD got there, man.
Okay.
But
like,
Chris,
this is an organizational
hold on a
thing.
second. Let's play out that what you're saying is true, okay? That LeBron is the one calling the shots.
I think for a lot of the shots, I'm not going to say all the shots, but I think a lot of the shots.
But the Russell Westbrook shot, okay? The get rid of Vogel shot, the get rid of Ham shot. They own the team. They can say no.
Of course, they could.
But they haven't. So you may say LeBron may have his thumb on the scale, but he's not calling the shot. They're calling the shot.
Put it this way. Do you honestly think, given the Lakers' history of star bleepery, that Russell Westbrook, massive name, massive star, was not in any way inherently intriguing to this organization.
I think it was intriguing, but I think if LeBron wasn't into it, it wouldn't have gone anywhere. Especially at that time. You're talking about 3 years ago, coming out of a championship.
They can bless it, but they can say no.
Right, that's different
they
than
own the
Pelinka.
team. He's the team president or the GM or whatever title he has. He can say, guys, I know you want this, because here's the thing. Outside of the Laker bubble, and not to relitigate the entire Russell Westbrook thing, if you went outside the Laker people, everybody's looking at going, guys, this is never going to work. This was a bad idea. And if you have somebody that's in the Laker bubble, but thinking about it from a basketball sense, and this isn't just because I didn't like it from the beginning, but this was guys, you can't have Russell Westbrook and LeBron James on the same team. They're completely non-meldable pieces. That's when the owner, the general manager, has to say, look, I get you on it. This is a bad deal. We're not doing it. It's not on LeBron. LeBron can suggest whatever the hell he wants. He doesn't have the authority to execute these things.
This is the thing, too. I don't believe for a second that Rob Pelinka hated the idea of this, but let's just say he did, and he got bullied by LeBron and AD. That's actually worse. Like the idea that somehow that's a defense. Oh, you got to do this.
No,
for
I don't
LeBron
think it's a
and
defense.
AD.
I think it's worse on one person.
No, it's worse on Rob and Jeannie, not
That's
LeBron.
what I mean. That's what I mean. Yes.
Yeah. It at that point, Rob, it is his job to go to Jeannie and say, LeBron and AD want this. It is an awful idea. It's a terrible idea. I need your help to get out of this. And Jeannie should say, I'll handle it. I will talk to them. Because contrary to popular belief, I am all of your bosses. Like, this is ultimately on Jeannie and Rob. Even if this is something LeBron and AD want, this is not on them that it happened. It's on Rob and Jeannie that it happened.
So Jeannie, then, in this case, thinks J.J. Redick is a good coach.
I would like to think so. I would like to think that
with
she
no
does.
influence from anybody else.
Of course she's going to get influence.
There's influence, but if she's sitting in her office and they come to her, whether it's LeBron through Pelinka, LeBron through Clutch, or LeBron
Maybe they're just
directly,
listening to the podcast.
Maybe.
I'm sure they are.
But at some point,
I'm sure they
come in there and say, hey, you know what we think would be a good idea? J.J. Redick. She could say, guys, look, the guy's a broadcaster for 1 year. He's got a podcast. Absolutely not.
Here's the
Come
thing,
back
too.
with something else.
It is Rob Pelinka's job, actually, and Kurt Rambis's job to influence Jeannie. That is actually their job. You just hope that they influence her to the right decisions. But the idea that they're influencing her, they should be. That's why they're literally on the payroll.
Do you think when they all watched the playoffs, they realized the Lakers couldn't beat any of the teams in
Emily,
the playoffs?
do it again. Do the ultimate, the thing about the thing that beat the thing that beat the thing.
That the Lakers lost to the Nuggets.
Right.
The Nuggets lost to the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves lost to the Mavericks, and the Mavericks lost to the Celtics.
So by the transitive property, they were the 16th team out of the 16
Except-
teams in the
No,
playoffs.
she's dead on right.
That's what I know.
Except
I know she is.
the Lakers, without LeBron and AD, beat the Celtics.
Right. That's right. So when do they get
By the
that
way,
banner?
remember when I used that point? That they shouldn't play LeBron? And everybody got, what are you talking about?
He's
What do you
coming
mean?
back.
No.
You know what's funny?
No, John said for a while, Ireland said for a while, they could beat the Thunder. Remember, that was the other thing. Lose in the play-in, the first game, so you can play the Thunder. Because it's all going to work out fine.
Nobody's beating the Celtics. They lost 3 playoff
But that's an
games
honest
in 2
question.
months.
Do they watch the playoffs and think, we're just J.J. Redick away from a championship?
Okay, you just asked what I think is the most important question that we've hit on. That is a really good question, because the answer to that, I think, will inform how long they give J.J. Redick to try and fix the whole thing. We'll do that coming up. But, hey, did you see coming up next? It's Travis Slee on a Lit Tuesday. Andy's in for Slee on 710 ESPN. So if you were on Prize Picks last night, like I was, and you took the more thans on a lot of Dodgers, you were getting it taken care of, because that's Prize Picks. You pick between 2 and 6 players, you look at the stat projections, and then you pick more or less, and you create your own lineup. And if you get it right, you could turn $10 into $1,000. That's what you can do at Prize Picks. But you got to use the code 710, because when you put the code 710 in at Prize Picks, they're going to match that first deposit up to $100. You put in 50, they put in 50. You put in 100, they put in 100. That's what makes Prize Picks so much fun. It's why they're the #1 DFS site in all of North America. So put the Prize Picks app on your phone. Use that promo code 710 to get that first deposit match and start having a blast watching these games. Everything you want. The WNBA, Major League Baseball, golf, it's all on Prize Picks. Go get it done. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy with Prize Picks.
710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. This fall, the new home of the USC Trojans.
The new home of the USC Trojans.
The Trojans are back.
The USC Trojans play on LA's mega sports station.
That's right. USC football, USC men's basketball, and USC women's basketball are on 710 ESPN coming this fall.
710 ESPN, the new home of the USC Trojans.
And it is Travis and Sliwa, and it's time for the segment we do around this time, 10:40 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Hey, did you see that sky today?
Did you guys see that?
Basically, the days we don't do Ask Slee, we do this thing. It's called Hey, Did You See?
Did you see that? I saw it, I did it.
Did you see the memo about this?
I mean, I'm excited. You can tell by my read. Hey, did you see?
Did you happen to see?
It's time for Hey, Did You See?
Hey, man, did you touch my drum set?
Have you read this? Right now on Travis and Sliwa.
Did you ever go back and watch that Serbian soccer match from yesterday, or are you still trying to catch
go
up?
back and watch. He watched it.
Why not?
I'm gonna go back and watch it so I can send Beto some notes. Like, oh, this happened.
What's up, Foo?
What's up, Foos? So I want to start off by stealing a page from DeAndre's book. Yesterday, I'm working in the back on this Mandy stuff, right? And he finished his show. He's working on his podcast. And he turns around and he tells me, with all sincerity, he says, hey, man, I just really appreciate working with you. Like, you push me to come in here and work every day. And, like, I just...
That's nice.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, cool. Yeah. Like, thank you for, I appreciate your comment. So I want to tell you guys the same thing. I'm watching these videos and I'm putting this show together. And I'm watching how much fun we have every day. And I want to thank you, Travis. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Emily, Greg, Chris, everybody. We're over here. I was talking to Cappy. We're over here hoping that by our laughs we can make you feel good because everybody's going through some stuff.
Sure.
So, I just wanted to say, thank you to everybody, and then DeAndre for, telling me that yesterday. That was pretty
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it goes both ways, to be sure.
Can't wait for your hard work this Saturday to see what you did.
Oh, man, it's going to be fun. And then...
Jorge, can I tell him what you told me yesterday?
Sure.
Like, I'm not going to give away any details.
Sure.
He told me about the jacket that he got.
Oh.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
he is. I cannot wait.
I showed Cappy.
Yeah.
Does it have Beckham's face all over it?
Oh, that's a good idea. Maybe I should put it in the inside.
Inside
Niners on one side, Beckham on the other.
There you go.
Just a photo of you shaking hands with David Beckham.
Exactly.
All right, fool. So over the weekend, I sent you guys a video. I thought it was pretty cool. Special moment for Joe Davis, the voice of the Dodgers.
Oh, yeah.
He was on the Rich Eisen show, and he talked about the challenges of replacing or not replacing, but just taking Vin Scully's place as the broadcaster for the Dodgers. So he says he had Vin send him a voice message. I have that voice message, and I have a questions for you guys afterwards.
Here we go. In Los Angeles, I tried to get you earlier in the day, so I start off the year 0 for 2. But I was calling just to welcome you to the family, to wish you great success, and I know you will love the ball club and the way they treat people. I look forward to seeing you somewhere along the line, although I doubt if it'll be on the road. Anyway, good luck. I'll see you, I'm sure, soon, and I'll be thrilled to wish you all the best wishes possible. I know what it was like to be 27, 28 and starting out with a big club, and I know it'll be a great marriage. So congratulations, and look forward to seeing you.
That's awesome.
It's incredible.
That is incredible.
It's incredible.
Yeah. So I got to speak to Vin once when he called in for Mason in Ireland, and it was the pandemic time. Everybody's at home, so I put my phone on the side. As soon as he hung up after the interview, I said, I put my phone on record, and I said, hey, you know what, Vin, thank you very much for calling us in. Appreciate talking to you. He's like, my pleasure, and he hung up. So my question to you guys is, do you guys have a message in a voicemail that means a lot to you, and what, Joe Davis says he put it in a Build a Bear, Build a Bear message. Yeah. Like, do you guys have any messages like that still in your phone?
I don't have any famous people in my phone like that. I have some voicemails that I hold on to that mean something to me, and mostly so I have the sound of their voice. And now it's a little different now because there's so many videos and everything that are floating around. If you want to have an actual memory of anything, you're gonna have it, but. To have and just listening to Vin talk about that. Number one, he always sounds like Vin Scully. Like the cadence of his voicemail sounds like he's calling a game, and boy, it makes you miss him just hearing a voicemail like that. Yeah. But yes, I hold on to things like that for sure.
I don't specifically have any voicemails like that, although I hope it's still in the family. After my maternal grandfather died, and we were all very, very close to this grandfather. He's a wonderful guy. One of my uncles had the foresight to remember to save his, back in the days of answering machines, he had the answering machine message on him and my grandmother's answering machine. And he was like, we should save this because it's a recording of Benny talking.
Yeah.
So I hope that's still either with my parents or with my aunt and uncle. But I don't have any of those specifically, although I do actually, now that I think about it, I've got some micro cassette recordings saved of some cool people that I interviewed over the years. Like,
do you remember any of them? The names?
Morgan Freeman.
Very cool.
I have Morgan Freeman on voicemail. I might have Michael Chiklis.
Okay.
Trying to think of some off the top of my head. Maybe John Ritter.
Oh wow.
Because I'm pretty sure I saved a lot of those. Morgan Freeman is the one that I know that I have, and he was actually very funny.
I mean, yeah, mine is similar to yours, which is like I saved my grandmother's, like her last time she called me to wish me happy birthday because she passed kind of suddenly later that year. And so every time I pack up my phone, I make sure to keep it. So yeah, I have that one.
There are those moments where you hear something that you haven't heard in a long, and Scully is one that we can all relate to, but like you're talking about, Andy, with your grandfather, and I remember whenever we have one of the kids' birthdays or an anniversary or something, Susan plugs in the old video camera and starts playing videos. And one of our wedding videos, or actually might have even been prior to that because I don't think he was ever with my grandfather, and just getting to hear his voice again.
Yeah.
And Scully, like he's been gone for a while. I hadn't called Dodger games for a few years now, and you get it. It just brings back all those wonderful feelings all over again. Terrific.
I was at storage and I found, I sent you guys a picture of when I drew Jay-Z in my college days. So I found my reel-to-reel, like the actual tape, right? I got cassette tapes from my first, I guess, college film or whatever that I wish I can somehow find a way to look at those again.
Kind of let you know how much better you've gotten at things, how many different things you've gotten to do. Because when you're doing it, you're like, yeah, this is pretty good. And then you go back and listen and go, there was a couple things in there that were okay, but generally speaking, that stinks.
Well, this is the thing particularly about writing. Like, I have some articles that over the years that I've written either for ESPN or The Athletic or wherever that are like, I think this was a really, really good piece. But even then, I will occasionally go through and I'm like, oh, God, I wish I had rewritten this.
Yeah.
Or like, how is that typo in there? Like, whatever. Things like that will bug the hell out of me. Like, as a writer, I am capable of rewriting and rewriting and rewriting everything.
So I have a story, and I don't know if I've told this on the air before, but so I, in college, studied documentary filmmaking, and one of my last classes, I had to make a short documentary film on whatever subject I wanted. And so I told a story about my friend, Lachlan, who hiked the Appalachian Trail. So she had a really bad freshman year of college, and she decided to take a year off and hike the Appalachian Trail. And so she's telling me, I asked her, one of the questions I asked her was, what was the best day on the trail? What was that day like? And so she told me that day she was walking with this guy. You kind of would meet people on the trail and do a whole day with them. She's walking with this guy. He lives in New Hampshire, and they were in New Hampshire. And she's like, oh, just stay at our house. You have a bed. You can have a shower, whatever. And then he ended up asking her later, hey, my neighbors are actually having like a backyard wedding. If you are invited, if you want to go, you can borrow my sister's dress. Like, you're welcome to come. Don't feel obligated, but you're welcome. And she joined and said it was her best day because it was just kind of like trail magic, quote unquote.
That's cool.
She got separated. And again, I from this guy said their goodbyes. She kept on walking, ended up tearing her Achilles halfway through and not being able to finish it. But the story is that she didn't lose hope because of that. She has hope. And so she's talking about this guy. She's like, I don't know if I'll ever see this guy again, but he's great. Fast forward a year, and they reconnect. And fast forward a couple more years, and they're engaged, and they're getting married this August. And I have the video of her talking about him, not knowing she'll ever see him again.
Oh, that's
awesome. And so when they got engaged, I sent her the video of this. Like, I have like a 15-minute documentary.
Yeah.
I sent her the whole documentary, both a memory of who she was like a couple years ago, and I honestly still watch it, and I really like what I did. But yeah, I sent it to her, and she was really happy.
That would be a great little gift.
I want to see it.
I would like to see that too.
I'll send it to you guys.
All right. And then I'll tell you if it's good or not.
Okay. There are some editing choices that I probably should have redone, okay? There are some angles that aren't the best. The story, though, was good.
Is there room?
Like with the best day on the trail that you were talking about, the best day on Trav and Slee on June 18th, I just had mine. That's exactly.
Is there room, by the way, to cram this into the Mandy's presentation, Jorge? You gotta,
15
like,
minutes.
I'll give up the roast if we can put this in.
That's awesome. All right. So Chris asked the question. I think it's a good question. Do the Lakers think that if they hire J.J. Redick, that fixes everything? That's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
Now
Morning Spectacular live from LA Live. Travis and Sliwa on 710 ESPN.
No glasses, officially. Did Emily bully you out of your glasses, Morales?
And is it no longer so dark?
No, I was just talking to Cappy.
Oh, you don't talk to Cappy with glasses?
I took them off. What's your problem
So
today?
that you can see.
I'm in a great mood today. What are you talking about?
Even though it's dark in here.
It's very dark in
Jorge,
here.
can you do a bid if we steal some new TV's lights? Because they are out after years of use. They're out.
Mm.
Well,
Only 4 of them.
Those morning show years, we had to use a lot of lights. Well, that's because before we got this new track lighting.
Uh-huh.
It is a live imaging Tuesday presented by Kia of downtown LA. The Kia Summer Sticker Sales event is here at Kia downtown LA. Go in there and say, "Hey Gary, the general manager, give me my Kia, sucker," and that's what you do. Andy, your thoughts? Sitting in for Slee.
It's what you do.
Thanks.
What
Yeah,
you
that's
do.
a great contribution. By the way,
I just wanted to move it along.
You're good.
ESPNLA.com.
I felt like everything that was said needed to be said.
Do you have your Mandy's tickets yet for Saturday night? ESPNLA.com, $25. Get in the house. Going to be a party. We got surprises. Plus, we announced USC partnership yesterday, which means at the Mandy's, your ticket is your raffle ticket. You could win opening day tickets to the Coliseum.
Oh.
You could win opening night tickets to Crypto.com Arena. You could win opening day tickets to SoFi Stadium.
Wow. That's a lot of tickets.
Plus, there's other stuff to give away. There's a Tequila Mandala gift pack. We got a couple of those.
How do I enter?
I was going to say, I would like to put my name in for that one.
I might buy a ticket just to be in that raffle.
Which type of tequila mandala is your favorite?
They're all really, like legit, really good. I would say either the Blanco or maybe the Reposado.
Have you had the extra añejo, though?
Yeah, I've had them all.
They do. There's nothing better than that.
That's delicious.
I would lick it off Jorge's body.
Stop,
Please.
bro.
You would do that with well liquor. Stop. Don't drag Mandala into this.
Blanco for me. The extra añejo is delicious, but as Chris saw when you came over for the
I brought 2 bottles.
Yeah, well,
One of them was
you
gone.
left with 0.
That Blanco is great.
It was so good.
Tequila is my favorite, period.
I knew it. I knew that.
Yeah, tequila is my go-to anyway.
What was the other? I knew the Blanco. What was the other one you
I
brought?
believe it was a Repo. It was a Reposado and a Blanco.
Pretty
right?
good night.
I think that's right.
That was the one Emily stiffed us on. You decided not to come that night.
I had other things to do. I
If
was
it were
at
any
Disneyland.
if it were any other night.
I had planned to go to Disneyland already with 2 of my friends, and I didn't want to bring my 2 friends to your house who don't know you, and I was going to be at Disneyland all day.
So you say.
By the way, keep listening all day long. On a Live Imaging Tuesday, we are going to give away tickets to Mandy's 3. But make sure you're there, because what if you don't win them? Go to ESPNLA.com. Don't forget, major announcement 2 this week, as our major announcement week continues, is at 4:30 p.m. 4:30 p.m. during Sedano and Cap, we will bring you major announcement number 2. We got a full week of them. You know what I mean, Andy?
Yeah, I mean, this one's big. I know what this one is. It's a biggie.
Thank you. Another great contribution.
It's a major announcement week, as you dubbed it yesterday.
I just like giving you a hard time.
I mean, I thought upselling the big announcement was contribution.
So when Jeannie and Rob...
Didn't matter what you said. It didn't matter what you said.
When Jeannie and Rob are watching the NBA playoffs, Andy, since you are a Jeannie and Rob apologist,
Actually, I was slamming them, but go on.
Are they going, you know what? We are just J.J. Redick away from winning it all.
I'd like to think the answer is no.
Okay.
I mean, I'll never 100% commit to the idea that it's no, but I'd like to think that the answer is no.
The problem lies in that the answer might be yes. That's where it gets super complicated. And by the way, we're going to have an answer for it if/when he gets hired based on the term.
Here's the answer. And for the time being, I don't know these details, but if they think J.J. Redick has those Pat Riley qualities, I need to know the why. And what does that mean? If it means just they see basketball vision and they see a guy who can own a room and they see a guy who communicates well and can rally players around him, that's one thing. If they see him as the next Pat Riley because Pat Riley won his first season as a head coach, that's a problem. Like, that would actually be a problem.
It has to be the communication. It has to be the presence. It has to be the ability to connect to players and to media and to all the things that Pat Riley was really good at. It can't just be that he's a former player who's tall and handsome.
Yeah.
It has to be something beyond that.
Well, I mean, look, they need to remember that, yes, Pat Riley won a championship in his first season as a head coach. But, he had assistant coaching experience before. It's not like he just went straight from the booth to coaching. As a matter of fact, the Lakers' original plan was him co-coaching with Jerry West.
Until Jerry West changed it at the dais.
Right.
He went out there and said, yeah, we're not doing that. Right. He's the coach.
Exactly. So, I mean, even then, even with Dr. Buss believing in Riley's potential, he was hedging his bets to some degree, but also he was inheriting a championship-level roster.
So I want to go back to what Chris said a second ago. This idea that when they watch this and they say, okay, we're a J.J. Redick away from everything being to where we want it to be. I could be wrong here, but I think that there are a number of Laker fans. I know there are people that don't fall into this category, but I think there are enough people that realize that two things can be happening simultaneously, which is they're not a J.J. Redick away. They're not a third star away. They're not a draft pick away. They are unfortunately in a really weird position, which is they're still decent enough. They've got two really good players. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to be in the second half of that draw. And even with everything breaking great last year, those guys played a ton of games. They still had to go into the play-in, right? That's just the way that it went. Okay, fine. You also realize that there isn't a quick fix on the coach. There isn't a quick fix in the draft. There isn't a quick fix in free agency or in trades. So you're going to have to try to have a foot in both camps simultaneously. I know that the most diehard / myopic Laker fans are always, well, if we just do blank, then everything else takes care of itself. The blank could be Russell Westbrook. The blank could be fire the coach. The blank could be go get Donovan Mitchell. The blank could be whatever it is. It's not there. Look at the traffic on the road in the Western Conference. Look at the traffic with the Boston Celtics and some of these other teams. It's not there. So you can't just say we're this person away from fixing everything. You're going to have to try to compete like crazy now because you have a pretty good team, but also realize that you're not just a guy, a coach, a pick away. And I hope that Laker fans can realize those two things can exist simultaneously.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not one move away, and like unless the move is somehow you're getting Nikola Jokic, like you're not likely one move away. That doesn't even mean that you can't, leverage all of your assets moving forward, like the 3 picks, maybe Austin Reeves in a trade, like whoever. You just need to make sure that you're doing it in a way that leads you down a direction, like it's something that is sustainable. Because the idea of just pushing all your chips in because LeBron is pushing 40, that's a terrible reason to do this.
And look, I'm not the world's best poker player, so correct me if I get the terminology. I'm not saying you got to fold your hand. What I'm saying is stop raising with a pair of sixes, right? That the table is not in your favor. Everyone else is sitting tight. You can stay in the hand, but you can't just continue to bet bigger and bigger and bigger in the hopes that you're just going to get lucky at the very end.
Here's the way I'll put it, because I do play poker. You'll hear people all the time. Sedano is actually somebody I believe I've heard say this before. Like, when you have LeBron, you are always in the all-in business. Like, you have to always be pushing in when you have LeBron. You know who always pushes in all in at the poker table? Really bad poker players. Like, that is a terrible strategy for winning at poker, always pushing all in. That I guarantee Dr. Buss, who was a renowned poker player, that's not how he played.
There are sometimes you got to just sit it out
and
just see what happens next, and just wait to see what happens next. That what you've said this before, Andy, correct me, both LeBron and AD played 70-plus games, right? Both of them?
Roughly.
Or very close to it.
Thereabouts.
They still were in the play-in.
Yeah.
And what are the chances of that happening over the next 2 seasons?
That's what I'm saying. Virtually zero. Oh, that they play all those games, I'm saying. Not that they're in the play-in. I think the play-in is very decent, but that AD and LeBron James combined to play 140 games.
Particularly coming off an Olympic run. That could be tough.
It's virtually zero. Mm-hmm. And even with it going that way, you're towards the bottom half. you got in. Maybe you do catch lightning in a bottle. I know the idea has always been, hey, against short series, it's not really true. If you look at who gets to the NBA Finals, it's almost always the top 1 or 2 seeds. Very rarely is there an exception to that. But okay, fine. That's your path, is catch something on the river, right? That you get lucky and it breaks exactly your way. But this idea of, well, let's just keep trying harder. Let's keep trying harder. Let's do bigger. Let's do better. The new coach. You're just going to get deeper and deeper and push that inevitable new hand further down the road. You got to wait for that new hand sooner or later.
Yeah, I mean, the idea that LeBron is 40, you want to make sure that you are trying to get the most out of LeBron, but at the same time, Anthony Davis is still in his prime. You want to make sure that you're able to maximize the next 2 to 5 years of Anthony Davis. To me, AD should actually be more of a priority right now than LeBron.
I can't wait for that Olympics excuse to get milked all year long. Well, the Olympics, man.
It's going to happen.
Yeah. I do. That's the only part of the Olympics I still enjoy.
The theme song?
Yeah.
That's a John Williams, I believe. Yeah. This one.
Because many years ago, when I was working at the Bruno show, 2004, when it was in Athens, because Pat O'Brien called us every day. I think he might have called your show quite often, too. But I think we paid him. We paid him I got it. I think.
That's the hook. That's the main
I know,
part.
but it doesn't need to be louder than to me. That's not on you, Em. That's
Nothing can be louder than you.
That's on Jorge. I think we paid him $250,000 to appear every day. I'm pretty sure.
Didn't.
Yeah.
Oh my!
That's why we were losing money.
The radio business back in the day was a good one.
But
to
anyway,
be
he
in.
called in every morning from Athens with the report, and we had that whole theme song. It was great. Those were great memories when I was 21 years old.
You can take it to the bank that, they spent the summer in France going for the gold medal, so you're going to have to give them a little grace at the early part of the season. And some of you will get a knee, a toe, an ankle, something.
LeBron drank all that wine.
Yeah.
And
hey,
exactly.
Listen.
All that sourdough bread.
You couldn't expect them to go over there and play in the Olympics and not have them have a couple of lingering things when they come back. Book it.
Have that music ready, man. I like that.
Some ratatouille.
Should play this for the Olympic basketball in the background, like a little score.
I'm just picturing, game 1, Lawrence Tanner announces the team, and that's playing in the background.
And then Remy's in all their heads, just controlling them and making sure they win the Olympics.
I'd watch. It might be the one way to get me to watch the Olympics. All right, Andy, you had a theory. This was prior to the Dodger loss weekend where guys started dropping left and right. You have a theory, and you're going to get to test it out on how to make the Dodgers a more enjoyable watch. It's coming up. It's Trav and Slee. Andy's in for Slee on 710 ESPN. Next gen, it's official, by the way. It's hot. It's the summer. It's the time when your air conditioning's on basically all day long, which means you're going to want to make sure that it's running at its absolute best. And that's where Next Gen comes in, because Next Gen, they are the best. The official AC heat and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans. Thousands, not tens, not hundreds, but rather thousands of 5-star reviews online to prove it. I've called Next Gen a couple of different times. I can't tell you how well it goes. They answer, they get back to you, they come when they say they are, and none of this crazy, we'll see you sometime between tomorrow and 2 weeks from tomorrow. They tell you, they show up, they take care of business. That's why you got to call for any of your AC, heating, and plumbing problems. Next Gen's the way to go. 833-3-NEXT-GEN. That's 833-3-NEXGEN. And right now, they're offering an $88 drain cleaning, and they'll add a free plumbing camera inspection. So if you have any plumbing issues at all, give Next Gen a call. 833-3-NEXT-GEN. Or go online at nextgenaironplumbing.com to schedule your appointment today.
Steve
710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. This fall, the new home of the USC Trojans.
The new home of the USC Trojans.
The Trojans are back.
The USC Trojans play on LA's mega sports station.
That's right. USC football, USC men's basketball, and USC women's basketball are on 710 ESPN coming this fall.
710 ESPN, the new home of the USC Trojans.
7:20 on a live imaging Tuesday. Presented by Kia of downtown LA. The Travis and Sliwa Show. We just flipped to this format. We'll be fine. Let's play the Honorable Oldies all day. I'm ready. We just need to do like a Sunday night oldies show.
That's the
on
big announcement.
7:10.
Correct?
I was trying to hit the post. Thanks.
We're flipping
But
to
I
this?
did. So we're good.
Okay.
Andy, as you heard, is sitting in for Slee. We take a break for a few moments of him being a Jeannie and Rob apologist so that we can play some oldies and tell you Mandy's 3 tickets are now on sale for let's see, about 12 hours left. ESPNLA.com, $25 gets you in the door. And there's not a bad seat in the house. So when you pull up the map, you're going to see a lot of tables in the back. Diamonds in the back, sunroof top, as somebody once said. But good seats still available, and there's tons of screens, there's tons of audio, so it's hard to escape the sounds or the visuals. So don't worry. You got good seats in there. ESPNLA.com. And right now, why don't you call and say hi to producer Emily? Call her 7, 8, and 9 at 877-710-ESPN. We're going to give you a pair of tickets to Saturday night. Now, don't call if you can't go. Don't win the tickets and they're like, hey, man, I can't go. Well, that doesn't help us.
Who is that?
That's like Jorge's cousin.
Does that sound like your cousin, Jorge?
Frankie. Quite frankly, yes.
Frankie one time found me a new battery for like $25.
Yeah, he knows a guy.
He knew a guy. Anyway, 877-710-ESPN. Mandy's 3, Saturday night at the Commerce Casino under the Big Top. And it's going to be a very, very, very special night. Andy and Brian will roast again, hopefully only 7 minutes. And I have approved. I gave her the signature. The producer, Emily, can have 3 minutes.
Oh!
To roast you, sweet tea.
Oh, I don't love that.
I do.
Wow.
I know you do.
And then maybe Susan. Well, Susan Rogers is going to be in the house, right?
She absolutely
I hope
will
Susan gets up there and also. In fact, maybe I'll call Susan up.
Can she also get 3 minutes?
Yeah. And then I'll say, Lady Slee, why don't you come up here and tell us all the horrible things Slee says about him at home?
Has anybody heard from him?
No, we usually don't. He just reappears when he's supposed to.
He's just gonzo.
He's a wet boy.
Is it crazy to me? I've stopped trying to figure out the logical way that I think you might do it, Andy, or you might do it, Chris, or I might do it. A Thursday to Thursday vacation is just so perplexing to me. That's a very weird way to lay out your week to go.
You don't get to set your kill schedule. The kill schedule sets you.
I'm taking Tuesday, Wednesday off next week.
Yeah, but that's a couple of days. That's not a week off. A week off is from Saturday to Saturday or Sunday to Sunday.
Listen, he's unique.
I guess so. It just seems very unusual to me. Like going to Arrowhead at 9 o'clock on a Saturday night.
Now that one puzzled me.
It's the same thing, really.
It's just puzzling.
It's very puzzling.
He's a puzzling guy. But see, Lady Slee seems completely normal.
She's very nice.
No, she's great.
I like her a great deal.
So it seems, yin and yang there.
Maybe.
There's a yin-yang factor there.
I don't know if she...
You know what I mean, Andy?
Don't give Susan 3 minutes because she will definitely accept.
They could go up together, Emily and Susan.
No.
Susan!
No, we're good. We're good.
No, Emily's going up there with Brian. But Brian's, he's nice. He's not going to go in. He might walk off stage when Emily starts throwing bombs.
Brian is a pretty nice guy. I don't know if Brian's going to come.
I actually am very excited for what Emily's going to fire off. I really am excited for that. I think that could be the highlight of the Mandy's, frankly.
Hey, I'm roasting here.
Not bad. Not bad. I don't know if your theory, Andy, spoke this weekend into existence or not, but this is not you retroactively coming up with a take. You were talking about this last week when you were in for Slee.
Yeah. Okay. So I had noticed, Travis, that your excitement level and enjoyability level in the or the off season, all the moves the Dodgers made, the excitement that you were feeling with Otani and Yamamoto, Glasnow, all these different signings. Hernandez. You were so excited until they started actually playing these games. Then once they started playing these games, even though at the point where I had this theory, this epiphany, the Dodgers were, I believe, 15 games above 500.
They're really good.
Reasonable measure. They're having a good season.
Yes.
You would spend every single show after a game picking apart blank that wasn't perfect.
Yes.
And it just dawned on me how this team may actually be, for the 162-game season, too stacked to be actually enjoyable. They're not actually fun because they're so stacked nothing short of winning by 1,000 runs is acceptable.
Okay. Yeah, that's 98% true. I'm with you on all of that. Because even on like last night, they won by their 98 runs, right? They were at 9-1 going to the bottom of the ninth inning before Coors Field did its thing and made it momentarily interesting. But here's the thing. Even when the Dodgers win big, and they do. You said it very well. The Dodgers are very good. The Dodgers are going to win the NL, even without Yamamoto and Betts, being available for at least a couple of months, probably. The Dodgers are going to win the NL West, barring a disaster. It's not that the day-to-day isn't enjoyable, or even when they do, flex their muscles and score their 10 or 12 runs. It's the little things that you mentioned are the things that I'm already seeing them happening against an 86-win St. Louis Cardinal team that comes in and they got one guy on the mound who pitches his ass off, and all of those little things. Like the Dodgers right now are super boom and bust. When they hit, they score a ton of runs, they don't lose. But
you know what they are?
They're not.
They're not boom or bust. They are playing baseball. This is what baseball is. So it dawned on me that they are actually too stacked of a roster for Dodger diehards to actually enjoy game in, game out. So my theory was, in order for the Dodgers to become more enjoyable, pick 2 of the 6 following players: Shohei Otani, Yoshi Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith. 2 of those 6, any of the 2, you have to trade them. And not just trade them. I mean for like 10 cents on the dollar. I'm talking about salary dump trades.
Be the Angels.
Yes. You are making really bad, essentially just getting their salaries off the books deals.
Yeah.
I actually think if you, whichever 4 you're left over with, the Dodgers would become more enjoyable, at least during the regular season, because all of a sudden you're allowed to lower your expectations to a point where wins themselves can be fun. My theory now is about to get tested.
We're going to find out.
2 of the guys I mentioned are actually now on the IL.
I don't like that your theory is being put to practice.
I don't like it either. Not this way.
But what the scenario that we're about to see, had this just been the reality of what they had, they have one really good pitcher in Tyler Glasnow. Not 2 in Glasnow and Yamamoto. They got 2 really strong offensive players in Freeman and Otani instead of 5 like they do right now. I hear you. But it's the other thing you said. It's the expectations that for, I think this is year 13 of this run where they've either won the division or won 100 games, one or the other, or both, is none of it. You're right. It is. You got your foot on the brake the entire time. You're not able to enjoy the ride because it's, really cool. But I saw what the Padres did. I saw what the Nats did. I saw what the Cardinals did. I saw what the Diamondbacks did. And it's just this, I don't care how good they are, how loaded they are. If this was, hey, they won the division 3 years ago and they were loaded and it didn't happen. And this year they're not quite as loaded, but boy, are they spunky and scrappy and they're going to show up. That would be exciting because let's see what it is. But when all you do is get to the very peak of the mountain and look down, and then some little guy comes and flicks you off the back and you go rolling back down the hill, it's hard not to think it's going to happen again.
They have not even, at least this team, been flicked down the mountain. It hasn't happened at all.
I know.
It just dawned on me. I was like, my God, Travis was like a kid in a candy store, excited heading into this year.
Now they're playing.
I was like, the minute the season began, Travis has been miserable.
Mostly.
He's not enjoying himself at all.
Mostly.
And I think...
Now, to be fair, that's just kind of also my default setting.
But I actually think, like, I want you to be, honestly conscious of this for the next 6 to 8 weeks. I think you may find yourself enjoying this team more.
I enjoyed last night.
Yes.
Hey, look, Otani's batting leadoff. Couple of doubles.
My
scored a
really
couple
good
of runs.
team got a win.
Okay, random Dodger thing for you last night. Freddie Freeman in the first inning walked. Freddie Freeman in the second inning walked. Freddie Freeman in the fourth inning walked. Freddie Freeman in the sixth inning walked. Mm-hmm. Freddie Freeman in the seventh inning was intentionally walked. His first 5 plate appearances, he had 5 walks, which ties the National League record. The Major League record is 6.
Is it Bonds? Okay.
I don't know who it is. He did get a 6th plate appearance in the top of the 9th inning where he singled on the 6th pitch of his at-bat. I'm not saying you throw away at-bats. Freddie Freeman is not a lifetime 300 hitter because he throws away at-bats. He got to 2-2, fouled off a pitch, and then ultimately had a single to go 1-for-1 last night. Do you not just take the next couple of pitches and hope to get that walk and see what happens?
I would not have let myself, if I'm Freddie Freeman, take an obvious swing pitch, and go down on a third strike,
right,
just to try to get that record. But I'm standing up there as long as I can before it's obvious I got to swing. I want a weird record. I'd love to have a weird record.
Today is the anniversary of Clayton Kershaw throwing a no-hitter. We'll talk about that coming up a little bit. That's cool and an incredible achievement of skill and good fortune. But just, hey, there was a weird night in Colorado where I walked 6 times. That's awesome.
Really quick, Chris Camello just tweeted out to you and me into the station. It sounds like Andy is describing the 2023 Dodgers in a way. Yes, and you know what? That team was really enjoyable. They were a delightful team because you didn't expect them to dominate in Bigfoot every single game. But the 162 games were enjoyable.
Were they?
Yes, they were.
I know that you're right, but the second that they showed up against the Diamondbacks and they lost the open one, it's happening again. And the previous 6 months were just out the window immediately. Shohei Otani might win the MVP. We can talk about that coming up at 11:45. Shohei Otani might and probably is the odds-on favorite to win the MVP right now. And if they do what they've done, who cares? That's coming up. But next, it's a little Factor Cap. It's Travis Lee. Andy's in for Slee on 710 ESPN.
710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. This fall, the new home of the USC Trojans.
The new home of the USC Trojans.
The Trojans are back.
The USC Trojans play on LA's mega sports station.
That's right. USC football, USC men's basketball, and USC women's basketball are on 710 ESPN coming this fall.
710 ESPN, the new home of the USC Trojans.
Oh, that's Cap. That's so cap, Dad.
Everything I've said is a cap, but I'm going to go back.
First of all, it's not a cap. It's
No, it
just
is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hi, guys.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Hello.
I just wanted to give a shout out to the people that have already won tickets to see to the Mandy's for next weekend. Listen all day today. We're going to be giving out a couple tickets and everything, but also want to say y'all have a lot of Hotmail emails. Okay, it's time to get rid of your Hotmail email.
Who still has Hotmail?
And get on to Gmail. Okay, guys, get on to it.
Hotmail.
Yeah.
my friend.
What,
A lot of
CompuServe is not popular anymore.
AOL.com?
AOL? Yeah, I was
The
going to
ones that
say.
I'm always surprised about
Prodigy?
is AOL. People still have AOL emails.
You run into one once in a while.
My
once in a
parents
while.
still have one.
An
so-
AOL?
They have an AOL?
Yeah, they have an AOL.
Is AOL still even like around? Is it?
They get their
exist?
emails.
You've got mail.
My
Yeah.
parents recently just retired their mindspring.com.
Oh my
I'm not
god.
Amazing.
I'm not kidding.
How about an
boy.
SBCglobal.net?
Somebody here has SBCglobal.net. Is it Mace? Who has SBC? It might be John.
I think Ireland's an MSNBC, an MSN.
MSN,
yeah.
Yeah.
He has
No, that's why I quickly cleaned that up. MSN.
Somebody has an SBC Global.
But yeah, your Hotmails are embarrassing, guys. I'm just kidding. I can't wait to see you guys on Saturday. I'm excited that you won, and make sure to come say hi. All right, so as in news happens, the monolith has reappeared outside of Vegas. So that's that, big, like, mirrored thing. That just kind
Silver thing. Looks like a pylon.
But it's like a mirror, so you can see it's like, and it's just popped up here. It's popped other places. My statement is, this might as well happen. Travis, set the cap.
Cap. I don't think this is 2001 Space Odyssey starting with the monkeys around the fire with the monolith. It's some performance. What's it called? Conceptual art, where you put like in the wild. There's a word for it. I'm blanking on it. Where you have like an installation of artwork in the middle of nowhere that's done purposely. That's all this is, right? Somebody's like, put it next to Stonehenge, put it in the middle of the Vegas desert, Area 51, right?
All right, Greg, might as well happen.
Yes, might as well happen. Fact, it might as well, if it's actually what we're thinking that it is, that you're putting it out to be, that the aliens or something made this monolith came out of nowhere, is not an art installation. It was not some guy that went out to the desert, put it there, and it was a whole thing. It actually happened. That to me would actually be awesome, and it might as well
hurry up and hit the button.
Yeah, just do it. Just happen already. I'm ready for it.
All right, Andy.
You know what?
Or
I
overlords.
think we've reached a place right now in today's world where
looks
I
pretty
would
cool.
welcome the alien invasion. I am willing to take my chances.
All right, Jorge.
It looks cool.
No, I'm with the guys. Just get it over with.
Yeah,
This is where it's coming to.
What are
Let's
we gonna
go.
do?
All right.
Like, how did someone find this?
I don't know. Oh, it's probably the artist.
Yeah,
leaked
no.
to-
There's no artist.
Yeah, exactly. New York
Go
Post or whatever.
28 degrees north, 28 seconds south.
I was just walking around.
Don't blame me. I voted for Kodos.
All right.
I, for one, welcome.
King.
So, Kylian Mbappe is the star of the French soccer team. They're playing in the
Oui, oui.
Euros right now. But they ended up beating who did they play yesterday, Jorge? Do you remember? Doesn't matter. Austria. They were playing
A
Austria.
team.
They ended up beating Austria yesterday. But he ended up breaking his nose during the match, and he will not play on Friday versus the Netherlands as of right now. But he is intended to play in the rest of the tournament should they get past the group stage. But he will be wearing a mask while doing it. So that he will be now Mbappe in the mask. So everyone is more intimidating in a mask. Greg, Factor Cap.
Yes, fact. Absolutely. If you're wearing a mask, especially with the way it depends on how you do it. When it's the clear one, you look silly, and just because if you want to be able to see it. If it's like a black mask, like when Black Mama, when you wear a black mask.
Didn't Rip Hamilton wear a black one back against the
Rip
Lakers back in
Hamilton.
the day?
When you do it and it's done correctly, yes, it's intimidating. If it's the clear one or the white one, that doesn't really work as well. So if he does it the right way, it'll be intimidating.
Okay, Andy.
Fact, but I would take it further. Like, I would wear like a full hockey mask, like the guys in Heat when they robbed that ambulance, or like one of those V, like the V for victory face masks. Like, I would go all the way with intimidation. Like, you are correct. Kobe's Black Mamba mask was better than the clear mask, but it's not scary enough. Like, if you're going to go scary, go scary.
All right, Travis.
I think it's Cap because there are too many. The statement is everyone is more intimidating in a mask. If it's like one of those clear ones that has like the lipstick and the eyeshadow. You're not particularly indeed look like a really low rent bank robber like you're talking about, right? It doesn't look the guys
like a Jason mask. That's
well, sure,
scary.
that one, but the guy dressed as Gerald Ford in Point Break wasn't particularly scary. He just looked like a guy that wanted
But with
to
the
get...
other 3 presidents, he
Gerald
was.
Ford died today.
No, so I'm going Cap.
Jorge.
So Mbappe gets slammed. There's memes of him that he looks like a Ninja Turtle. So if he were to come with something that looks like a Ninja Turtle, like that across his face, that would be freaking awesome. And then stick it to everybody. Mbappe, come on.
That would be a good one.
It's not a mask, but you know what I miss? I miss the headbands that had like the ninja headbands that they had in there.
Ties in the back.
Yeah. It was Drew Holiday.
It's like a Daniel LaRusso style one.
Why did they ever get rid of them? Those
great.
were awesome.
They looked really, really cool.
I miss those. Made me think of it with the.
Remember Sasha's skinny headband?
Well, it looked like a shoelace.
Yeah,
it didn't even look like a headband. It looked like something he picked up off the floor.
I'm not joking. On Sasha's old personal website, I think it was like Sasha Vujacic 18. He did a segment with I'm saying she's an assistant or something, where he was going through all these headbands that fans had sent him to wear. It was the greatest. There's one point he's like, I got to be honest, Emily, that is a lot of headbands. That's the funniest thing ever.
That's pretty good. That's
pretty
awesome.
All right, so Taylor Swift is on her world tour right now, and she's currently about to perform in Cardiff in Wales.
By the sea?
Yes, but apparently it is a well-known venue for how terrible it is to get in and out. Apparently, a couple years ago when Ed Sheeran was there, people were waiting for 7 hours to get in and out of this location. And then imagine how big it's going to be when Taylor Swift is going to be there. So my statement is, there are some places you don't go because of how long it'll take you to get out. No matter who it is performing, even if it's the person you definitely want to see, there are places you don't go because of how long it takes for you to get out. Andy, Factor Cap.
I would really, really have to desperately want to see a concert at the Rose Bowl to go. The Rose Bowl is brutal to get in and out
You
of.
just don't know how to do it.
Okay.
You may be right. I don't.
Yeah.
I always got in and out. No problem.
Did you ask me, Em?
Yes.
Sorry.
It is 100% fact for me. It is the number one determining factor on if I go anywhere is ingress and egress.
What if it's Fernando Mania is going to be played on the big screen and you have to
At the Hollywood
go to
Bowl.
the Hollywood Bowl or the Rose Bowl to go see it?
And you have front row parking, so it takes forever to get
And
out.
you're going to meet Fernando there.
That's a very specific set of circumstances. I would do that, but I'm not kidding you. We were trying to decide where to go to dinner on Saturday night, Susan and I. And we didn't go somewhere because it was a 10-minute drive away. That's the threshold of where it is sometimes. It's how long to get in, how long to get out, and then who are we seeing? I don't know if it's an age thing. Put it in your 3-minute set, Emily. I do not want to sit in my car in a parking lot. I just don't want to do it.
I think it's an LA thing too. I think that's a big factor for a lot of people. I won't go to certain restaurants because of the parking.
You know what else it could be too? It's the fact that I spend so much time in my car Monday through Friday that it's the very last thing I want to do on Saturday and Sunday.
All right, Berg?
Yeah, it's fact. And I was going to say exactly what Travis said. I'm in traffic so often and so many times during the day, 5 days a week, that yes, it completely matters. I will not go someplace if it's going to take me too long to get there or too long to get out. And some places, like, there are times where I won't go to SoFi because it takes forever to get in. It takes forever to get out. One time I went there, it took me 45 minutes from the second I went into the parking lot to my actual parking space. It's too much.
That's something that's not the first time I've heard that complaint.
It's the same way on the way out. Once you get out, it's still a whole problem. So no, it really makes a big
The other
difference.
thing too, because I've been in this situation in the past, you have to have confidence in your car. Because you can start worrying, like, my car's going to overheat. It's going to break down. Like, there's a lot of factors to this.
Here is one silver lining to the Rose Bowl situation that you've talked about, Andy, and I've learned this. I like it, too. You guys have heard me talk about it. We go to the Rose Bowl first time we missed it last year in a million years. But because it's such a pain in the ass to get out, you do tailgate 2.0. Oh. You literally do an entire second tailgate party after the game and let the place clear out, and then you can just drive right out. But you got to be willing to sit there for another 2 hours and tailgate all over again.
So Jorge and I figured out a way to get in and out of Dodger Stadium very, very quickly. Every single time we go to the game, we go and we stay till the end of the 9th inning. We see the last pitch.
Where you park?
We park in GA. We park in GA and we just walk to our car, get out. We're out. We're here, back here at the station in 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Believe it when I see it.
This happened twice.
Every
3 times, actually. Yeah.
And what's so funny, too, is like when I was anticipating it being terrible when I left the Taylor Swift concert last year. So I had snacks packed, I had water packed, I had all this stuff packed for us to be in deadlock, leaving SoFi
It's
Stadium.
like you were going on the Appalachian Trail.
Well, no, I was ready and prepared because I didn't want to have my sisters complaining the whole time. So literally from when we left our seats, which is at the end of the show, to getting onto the freeway, maybe 15 minutes.
That's amazing.
We literally booked it out of there, booked it up, because I took a parking spot that I knew also would be an easy exit because I go to SoFi so often. So that was helpful. I got one more for you guys. So this morning, Monica McNutt was on Get Up, and she was joining via FaceTime. And in the middle of this heated discussion, they were talking about probably Jason Tatum or something in the NBA Finals. She said something that set off her FaceTime emoji. So it set off the balloons coming up, and you could see it on Get Up. And she's like, "What's happening?" And it has happened to me where I do a thumbs up, and it ends up with a bunch of emoji thumbs up. So the FaceTime emojis are stupid. Andy, fact or cap?
Cap. I think they're fun. I enjoy them. I find them
Why?
enjoyable. If I'm being really honest, because they
Chris.
often delight my daughter. So I see them often through a kid's eyes, and they're fun.
All right, Travis?
I don't understand. I think FaceTime is dumb. Never mind the emojis. Just call me. I don't need to see your face. Why do if you and I see each other every day, right?
Yeah.
And you, for whatever, you got something comes up. I need to talk to Travis real quick. Why do you have to FaceTime? Just call me.
Okay, but what if your son moves across the country and you haven't seen his face in a month because you haven't seen him? Then that's why FaceTime.
Dreams come true. Yeah, I'm fine hearing his. I mean, sure, fine. It's so stupid. I hate to see people.
Hey, what if I
can't stand it?
What if I FaceTime you and Fernando's next to me? Hey,
that's
look,
that's you just rubbing it in. You're just pimping me at that point.
So it works with my niece, my brother's daughter, or with Riley. If she sometimes we FaceTime. So it's to the question, it's fact and it's cap. I'm with Andy. It's fun. It's a little thing. It's funny because it works on the iMacs, right, or on Macs. So on Teams, our owner Sam Pines, every once in a while it works on Teams. If you move your arms a certain way, things happen like the balloons. So he's in the middle of talking.
That's funny.
in a meeting, and all of a sudden balloons go up.
That has happened to us during. I think it happens on StreamYard as well,
Yeah.
And that's
which
funny.
we use to broadcast.
But what if you're zooming into court and then you have balloons go off?
That's very funny.
Come on.
Maybe you'll get off because of that, because it'll make the judge laugh.
Andy, when you say you use StreamYard, what do you use that for?
Locked On Lakers.
Oh.
It's a podcast.
Is it a YouTube?
There is. I was getting to that.
Oh,
There
sorry.
is
That
a
was early.
YouTube. there's a rhythm to this. Craig.
A little bit.
Podcast available 5 days a week.
How much
Anywhere
does
you
it
get-
cost?
Not a penny. It's
Nothing?
never behind a paywall.
Oh, wow.
And if you're one of those people that prefers to watch your podcast as opposed to just listening, there's a YouTube component.
That was 5-6 seconds early.
What is it? Just Lakers, or do they do other teams?
There is an entire network, the Locked On Network, and they have team-specific shows for all of the teams in the Big Four sports.
Do they have the Los Angeles Rams?
They should. If they don't.
They do, as a matter of fact.
They do. I heard it's good.
Who's it with?
Excellent.
It's with me, as it turns out.
Oh, wow.
And my good friend Doug McCain.
Yes.
Yeah. So
He's turning your great friend.
Yeah, he sure has. He sure has. I'm glad somebody's there every day. So somebody needs to be there every day. Shohei Otani is your betting favorite for NL MVP. Is that good enough? That's next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
You never have to miss.
710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. This fall, the new home of the USC Trojans.
The new home of the USC Trojans.
The Trojans are back.
The USC Trojans play on LA's mega sports station.
That's right. USC football, USC men's basketball, and USC women's basketball are on 710 ESPN coming this fall.
710 ESPN, the new home of the USC Trojans.
A live imaging Tuesday. I only have eyes for you. The Flamingos, 1955. Now, see, I hate to say this because now I sound old. Do you think that any song that is made now, they're going to be playing 50 years from now?
This is something I actually think about a lot.
And I'm not knocking the music today. I'm just saying.
So something from the 70s right now would be 50s.
Right, which we listen to a lot.
I mean,
so you're right. Wait a minute, is that true? Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
So 70 years. Do you think we're going to be playing a song 70 years from now?
So here's the thing. When on the occasions I do listen to music on my way home, I'll listen like the 80s hits, right? Like going through there. And it feels like they're all like bangers. Those are 40 years old now, right? I really like them. I just don't know them now. I'm sure that my kids will listen to something from, I don't know, NSYNC. That's a bad example, but somebody that's Taylor Swift, for instance, that 30 years from now will still get played.
I think Taylor Swift will.
Yeah.
And there are some times where songs are bigger than the artist, even the one-hit wonders of the world and things like that.
But like that one channel on Sirius, I listen to the Yacht Rock channel a lot. But I'll go to the Blend, I'll go to others. And then they have the one that's like, they're basically 2K or something 2K, where it's playing songs from the 2010s, where I hear them and I'm like, oh, that song sucked then, and I don't want to hear it. So there's that period. It feels like post-2010.
I think it's your age.
No.
I also think that there's some
It just doesn't
2010
mean the
songs
same thing to you right now.
No,
like,
but there's a lot of new songs that I listen to, and I feel like I'll listen to them.
Yeah, maybe. But that thing you hear when you're 16 or 12 or 20 resone's much different when you hear it at 35
I was doing a lot of
or
things
40.
at 16. You weren't.
But there's
Thank
also
God.
Carly Simon's "You're So Vain." What year is that?
70s.
Honestly,
mid-70s?
I listen to a lot of 70s music when I do my walks in the morning because it kind of I like Fleetwood Mac, like Carly Simon. I like Paul Simon Garfunkel, things like that. Like I'll listen to that when I walk around. But I might sound old, but here's one of my jokes that I might do for the Mandys. Okay,
Let's
next
do
year.
it. Let's hear it.
Actually, I'm stealing this from 805 Raider, so shout out to 805 Raider.
Great.
So Travis is so
Huge.
old.
How old am I?
I need more participation. Travis is so old.
How old is he?
How old is he?
He prefers the original FaceTime, a painting.
That's so stupid.
And more at Mandy's on Saturday.
At Mandy's 3. So if you don't have your tickets, by the way, just that joke is worth $25. ESPNLA.com. Be sure to be there because I'm giving M 3 minutes. Unfiltered and raw.
I'll do the 3 minutes and when I do the presentation with Brian Cohen.
Okay. 3 minutes. That should actually, we should have that graphic at Mandy's
Like
3.
tick, 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 tick,
M,
tick.
and it's unfiltered raw 3-minute roast of Travis Rogers.
It's the roast within the roast.
And then
Jorge, can you make that graphic real quick?
And it's just me with a mic, just walking around like a comedian, like
swinging the mic cord all over the stage.
Yeah, exactly. You know the thing about Travis Rogers.
You thought the Tom Brady roast was bad, and by bad I mean amazing.
It was good.
Was good.
Okay. Also, Chris, by the way, Yacht Rock got a shout out in Inside Out 2.
Really?
I was just watching Inside Out 2 yesterday. Great movie.
Taking over the
way.
world as yacht rockers.
And then she was mentioning that she only thinks of her boy band that's not cool anymore, and then her dad's Yacht Rock. And I was like, oh, Yacht Rock got a shout out.
I love it. On Sunday for Father's Day, I had the Yacht Rock going outside, and then I walk into the kitchen, and my parents were in there, and they're like, does he really love this music? He really loves it. I said, well, you guys talking to me? Talking about me? Well, they're like, you listen to it nonstop. I was like, yeah. What? So what? Because, see, these are songs my dad played as hits when he was his first major market job at San Francisco. But it was a different time. So I once found those. That's how this all started. I found these old air checks of him at KFRC in San Francisco. But it was like 77. So it was talking like this. It's like KFRC, San Francisco. Like, it was a different time. So I don't want to hear those air checks, man. I don't. It effing sucked back then. So when he hears England Dan John Ford Coley playing at Father's Day, he's like, I think he gets PTSD. Kind of did those talk-ups in 1977.
But okay, those songs predate you, right?
Well, yeah.
They predate me, but you hear them, and we all know the words to them right away. You know the melody. You know that's what I think
really
you're
love
talking
to see
about.
you tonight by England Dan John Ford Coley. That's like the original booty call song.
I'd really love to see you.
Yeah.
Like I don't know 10 songs. I know that one.
That's being driven around in your parent's station wagon when you're like 7 years old.
In the back, unbuckled, looking out the wrong way.
Yep.
Yeah, hoping not to get rear-ended by the semi who slammed on its brakes sliding into you.
Back to music and everything. Like, no matter if you hate it or not, I feel like Call Me Maybe we're going to be listening to in 60 years.
No, I
like,
love Call Me Maybe.
There are certain singles and pop music that will be there around even if you don't love it.
I mean, look at the staying power of something like Tub Thumping. I get knocked down,
No,
but I get up again. I mean, that's
at first I
around.
didn't remember the title. I thought he was making fun of me, but By the way, Saturday night I'm coming out to Yacht Rock.
Are you?
Yeah.
That's your opening number?
I'm not singing. It's the song that plays.
Well, same thing.
Which one? Right. Are you willing to reveal it now or no?
We'll come back with it.
Okay.
Here at 12 and so
All right.
in a few minutes.
All right.
All right.
I'm ready.
Well, do you want to walk out and then I do my read, or you just want me to do it all?
No, I would be happy to lock out, Chris. I'd be happy to pass you the ball.
Just pass it to me, sucker.
You want me to pass it to you?
You're a gutless bum.
I know I am. Shohei Otani, MVP, not enough. That's next. It's Travis Slee. Andy's in for Slee on 710 ESPN.
Let me tell you who's not gutless. My friend Gary over at Kia at downtown LA, the general manager over there. You know why he's not gutless? Because he's going to take care of you because the Kia, let me do that again. I got excited. The Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event is going on now at Kia of downtown LA. Lease the all-electric 2024 Kia Niro for only $190 per month, or lease the new 2024 Kia Forte for only $200 per month. Visit them today and discover why Kia downtown Los Angeles has achieved a J.D. Power 2024 Dealer of Excellence for the customer sales experience. That's an award that not everybody has, and that's important. Take advantage of the Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event going on now at Kia of downtown LA, next to the 10 freeway at Figueroa in Washington, in downtown Los Angeles, and you know what to do. You walk in there. You say, can I go to Gary, the GM's office? He's going to look at you, and he's going to give you a look like, why are you talking to me? He's going to be polishing his Rolex. And then you say, hey, Gary, give me my Kia, sucker. Kia, downtown Los Angeles. More Travis and Sliwa fun in just moments.
Hey, guys, it's Sedano at Los Angeles International.
710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. This fall, the new home of the USC Trojans.
The new home of the USC Trojans.
The Trojans are back.
The USC Trojans play on LA's mega sports station.
That's right. USC football, USC men's basketball, and USC women's basketball are on 710 ESPN coming this fall.
710 ESPN, the new home of the USC Trojans.
Doing the hip and the thrust.
It's fixating.
Is it?
I can't stop looking.
It wasn't the morning mount that you posted this morning.
Kind of like the morning mount. You witnessed the morning mount when Sedano capped me and Corporate Gregory did that morning show that day.
I was unfortunately sitting where you are sitting right now and got a bird's eye view of it.
And
it was
I
awful.
slipped when I attacked Cappy, and then he was able to roll me. He rolled me and was able to flip me and rub me down. Bam! And he mounted me.
Well, it's not your guys' first time.
It's not, but you never forget your first time.
I think the best part about the entire thing was how incredibly disinterested Sedano was in the entire process.
He's seen it. He sees this
That's
often.
what I mean. Like, he just kind of went, yeah, whatever, and we started carrying on whatever conversation we were having.
Because he knows, especially on Tuesdays, he's got this whole thing. So last Tuesday, by the way, I will come out to this song at Mandy's 3 on Saturday night, ESPNLA.com, get your tickets. So he gives us a look on Tuesdays. It's kind of like the Chick Hearn fist, like stop talking, but he'll give us the look like, okay, let's get back to it. Let's get back to the island. Let's get back to the shore, right? We're splashing a lot. We were adrift. But last week he was in Dallas or Boston, wherever he was, and he told Lindsay to let us know to go off his verbal cues. So what do you think Cappy and I did? We just kept saying verbal cues all show long. Is that the verbal cue, George? He was very upset. But now he's coming back home. He's finally coming back home from the NBA Finals trip. See, that's a song from the 2010s. I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
Daughtry.
No, the other one.
Which one's the one from
The one they
Daughtry?
used for Carmelo Anthony when he went back to the Knicks. Or went to the Knicks.
Got me.
Coming home.
I can't think of it. I can't think of the artist. Daughtry is also, that Home by Daughtry is good.
Home to the place where I belong.
I know that one. Is that Daughtry?
Yeah, that's like divorced dad music.
I think an artist we can't mention anymore, or shouldn't mention, is involved in I'm Coming Home. I think.
Okay.
Anyway.
Why is that divorced dad music? That's a very specific.
It's like Nickelback. It's Daughtry. It's like divorced dads going through something that their kids are playing.
They're in their
car.
feelings.
Divorced dad turning hipster.
Oh, right. Coming home, yeah. It's Skylar Grey and the artist who we will not mention.
Yeah. The guy he's done some stuff recently.
I got to Google this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe. Should we talk about Otani?
Yeah, so Otani, he doesn't have a broken hand, so that's good.
No, that's in his pro column.
Buenos dias.
That's him.
That's him.
I know.
That's him.
And did you see the bobblehead that they posted that they're going to do for Otani on August 28th?
No.
So it's him holding a little decoy, a little deco pin.
Oh, his little dog?
Yeah, okay. It's
amazing.
I'm not the biggest dog person in the world. I think dogs are fine. I'm not necessarily someone that's like stopping, oh my God, I got to pet this dog.
Finally, we found some common ground.
But Decoy is a very, very cute dog. It's like a very, very cute dog.
Thank God the Dodgers have this bobblehead bit that they just keep cranking out. It's amazing.
It puts butts in seats.
It really does.
It does, but they were going to have butts in seats regardless of whether they're giving away a Deco Pin bobblehead
but
doll.
there is so much
the
energy.
bobbleheads get more people to show up.
Oh, no, I
there is so
understand
much
that.
energy on bobblehead nights.
I like a good bobblehead, but I don't know. Who are they playing? How long? Where are we parking? How long is it going to take me to get out of the parking lot? These are the questions that you got to ask yourself, not whether or not it's a Chris Taylor bobblehead night.
All the answers are not ones that we would like, but people are doing it constantly.
I know.
Okay.
It gets the people going.
Otani's going to be here 10 years, correct?
Yeah.
Do you think over those 10 years there will be a decoy bobblehead?
Just the dog?
Yeah,
100%.
just the dog.
100%.
Yeah.
That'll be a biggie.
Yeah.
That'll be a big.
Are they going to do a bobblehead for Mookie's hand or no?
How much did you enjoy Sunday afternoon?
I didn't.
When you saw it break and
Because
you knew it was
here's the thing.
serious, that was the moment where you just were elated,
I
yes?
wasn't. No, because I don't want players to ever get injured. That's not cool.
I know you don't like for injuries, but you like disaster to strike.
I do like disaster, but also to keep things fresh. Them getting knocked out in the first round of the playoffs and me breaking a bobblehead again, that's sort of like, okay, we did that. I need some mayhem. So them winning the World Series and me, everyone thinking I'm going to eat crow. Instead, I come in a Dave Roberts jersey and become his #1 fan and like have Dave Roberts posters behind me. That's different.
Oh, Dave Roberts.
Exactly.
All right.
Hey, Dave.
So you're the right person to ask for this.
Right.
Here it is. With Mookie going down, Otani, at least by odds makers, is the favorite to win the National League MVP. He's like top 3 or 5 in just about every meaningful offensive category. It's basically him and Bryce Harper at this point. Let's say he wins the MVP. Let's say he performs at a very high level in the postseason. Like the Dodgers get exactly what they wanted out of him in the postseason, and they lose anyway.
Well, I mean, we've said it that with the amount of money they've simply invested in Otani, if they lose in the first round of the playoffs, if they don't,
they've already made their money back. Like, this is not a financial play.
No, but it's more about, okay, it comes back to the same thing. Are they just going to keep doing the same thing over and over again? So if Dave Roberts doesn't win now again with Otani,
the only reason they wouldn't is because they haven't. He should have been gone by now. There's really no other explanation other than he does what they want him to do. He takes the heat for when it doesn't go well. But they spend the money. They did do something different this offseason. They went bananas in free agency.
So if you get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs,
same result, but Otani was awesome. He wins the MVP.
Doesn't matter.
He shows up. Doesn't matter at all.
No, because now, okay, so if that's all true and that all happens, the only link that still is continuing to be an issue is in the playoffs. And even though people love to, it doesn't matter. Dave Roberts has no control. It's interesting that flipped when it came to Darvin Ham, by the way, but let's not go there. So why wouldn't you fire Dave Roberts? Why keep him?
I would, but I don't think that they necessarily will pull the trigger. Because if they were going to do it, if they were going to blame Dave Roberts for any of the failures that they've had in recent memory, why would this one be any different than the others?
To what you and Mace always say, which is it's not Dave Roberts' fault.
Just do it anyway? Just do it to do it?
Well, at some point, sometimes
I know. By the way,
you have to
agree.
do it just to freshen things up.
That's why I would have done it last year. At that point, it's just, and it's not Dave Roberts' fault. It's just one of those guys. We got to try something different.
Well, that's the thing. So you tried something different because you went out and invested $1 billion into the greatest player possibly that's ever played. So that changes the script, right, Andy? It's okay. This is going to change everything. If that also didn't change anything, then there's only one link left.
Again, I think with Roberts specifically, he's not the guy I would be looking to fire or that I would be looking to change. The reason being
Friedman.
All I'm going to say is if Dave Roberts is, by everybody's logic, just playing out a game script when it comes to the playoffs, and his big role, like as far as what Dave Roberts specifically does, is keep a clubhouse on the same page and motivated and energized for 162 games. I'd argue Dave Roberts is the guy doing his job. I just think it's interesting that the guys who are apparently these geniuses coming up with these scripts, nobody ever thinks about them potentially needing to change.
That's why Dave Roberts stays where he is, because it's an easy out. It's an easy out, and quite frankly, it makes sense. We put together this team that wins 100 games every single year. That's really hard to do. They do go out and spend all the money that they need to spend on Otani, on Yamamoto, on all these guys. That's not necessarily easy to do. You got to have an owner that's willing to do it. The easy thing is, well, why didn't you only score 2 runs tonight? Well, because we didn't go to the bullpen in time, or we went to the bullpen too early, or whatever the explanation. That it's obvious and easy, but you're, I think, more onto it. That why does it keep failing at the end? If it failed half the time, that's the randomness of sports.
Well, but also if this is set up as collaborative, or not even so much collaborative as this is what we want you to play out, this script that we, the eggheads up top, have come up with, I would argue for the most part, Dave Roberts is actually doing his job. I'm not saying fire Andrew Freeman. I'm just saying if you're thinking about changes that need to be made, you never hear about the idea of maybe we need to be thinking more about our script. Maybe we need to be thinking more about our approach, because Dave Roberts is just the guy following the script.
Has to be thrown away the second the playoffs start. Follow the script devotedly
but I
for 6
seriously
months.
doubt Dave Roberts is the one saying, guys, we got to keep a script.
No,
Like,
I totally agree. I totally agree. Go back to the Otani thing for a second, though. Otani wins the MVP. I understand that take the economics out of it, the money spent, money brought in. The Otani thing isn't a failure. The Dodgers are a failure, right? You can't look at it like, well, it didn't change a thing, so we're right back where we were. That you have to, that can be removed from the process.
Otani winning MVP, playing at a level where he would get that award, that's in all honesty what you expected when you signed him.
Right.
Like, it wouldn't be shocking that Otani could win an MVP. He's already done it.
Well, this is the
twice.
Yeah.
The anger that I get from people when I rip Dave Roberts is, well, he had a great season. He's a great manager, best team in baseball for the regular season. And at some point, now the Dodgers are not like the Lakers, where the Lakers were, Dr. Buss was all about winning championships. For us, Dodger fans of that era, 1981 was I wasn't born yet, and that team, I know about that team. I've watched plenty of things. I've talked to my family about it. But 88, even though I was 5, I remember it distinctly. I remember Gibson's home run. I remember being at games. I remember Orel. I was all about Orel and Hershiser. So that team to me was amazing, but that wasn't a team that was supposed to win. They were actually the opposite. That's why the story was so amazing. And then as a kid, the 90s were not, we had the rookies of the year, but 95, the strike year, and that's what really broke my heart as a base 94 as a baseball team, was that team was probably the best team of the 90s for the Dodgers, and the strike just knocked them out. It was between them and the Expos at that point.
This comes back to what you were talking about earlier, that all of the Otani, Yamamoto, Mookie making the transition to shortstop, Teoscar Hernandez being fantastic, Glasnow being fantastic. All of this day-to-day, it's fun to watch, but it's all preamble to where everybody puckers like crazy.
Right.
Game 1 of the DS.
So now these teams are the best teams. The Dodgers are putting the best teams out there with free agents that are the best in baseball, and they're spending a fortune. If the expectation isn't to win a championship every year, then what's the point of any of it?
No,
that's the expectation, but it isn't happening.
It's not.
Well, wait a minute. That's not the expectation of the front office that's spending all this money? Doesn't that seem lame?
It's absolutely the expectation.
So you would say that front office that's making the decision, hey, we're going to pay $1 billion for the best player in the world. We need a different manager because this isn't working.
But I'm not arguing with you that they shouldn't change it out. I agree with you that they should change it out, but they're not. But he's not the reason it's not working out.
This would be my reluctance with firing Dave Roberts. It's not the idea that Dave Roberts is so incredible you can't afford to lose him, although I do think he is a very good manager, and if he were unemployed, he would last about 4 seconds before he got scooped up.
Yep.
To me, the issue I would have with firing Dave Roberts is you might convince yourself that you've solved the problem when the actual problem is still lingering.
The problem
it's
is
too easy to just fire Dave Roberts.
The problem is not hard to see. The problem, for whatever reason, is hard to fix. The problem is what works over 6 months does not work over a week. It's an entirely different math problem to solve, which is it's almost unsolvable. It's much more over 6 months. If I put more things here, I'm going to win more often than not. Cool. 6 months, you're going to get that result. I got to win tonight. And my guy is cruising. Let him cruise. Just because it says more than not, you need to take this guy out after the second time through the lineup. Let him cruise.
But do you think that's a Dave Roberts
Absolutely
call?
not. Absolutely
but then
not. I
you
don't.
get back to my point.
No. I think we're all oddly on this, coming at the same thing, that this is not a Dave Roberts breakdown of decision making. The reason, who was the guy last year that they never brought in to pitch at all in the entire series because they were worried about him pitching Game 4 that never even happened?
Oh, I remember.
It was the guy that traded to Tampa, the big dude, Pepio.
Yeah,
Pepio never pitched in Game 3, despite Lance Lynn getting absolutely bombed out because they were thinking, hey, we got to have him for a game. You cannot convince me that was a Dave Roberts decision. You just can't do it. Right. He's got to stand up there and pretend it was his decision and wear it like it's his decision. And ultimately, if Chris, you get your way, he'll be looking for a new job because he has to do that. But you can't tell me that a guy who clearly knows baseball, who clearly understands how to deal with people, who clearly understands how to manage a bullpen and all these things, just that night decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the dumbest damn thing I could do. You can't convince me of that.
That's my biggest apprehension with the whole fire Dave Roberts thing. It's not even so much about Dave Roberts, although I do think he's good at his job. I think they will become convinced they've solved the problem when all you're doing is getting rid of somebody who's actually good at their job.
He's not going anywhere.
Probably not.
For better or for worse, he's not going anywhere. And you can never convince me that he's the one saying, you know what, let's have this guy hit or that. Just not going to happen. What is a good news? What is a silver lining? What is a possible, like, hey, this may work out for the best possible reasons, is the Dodgers are going to have to go get a shortstop, even if they're pretending that maybe they don't. That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
710 ESPN.
Original booty call song. England Dan, John Ford Cullen. I'd really love to see you tonight, a little yacht rock. Everyone's going to be jealous. Yacht Rock's sort of their thing on Tuesdays, but that's okay. We can spread it around on a live imaging Tuesday presented by Kia of downtown LA on the Travis and Sliwa Show. Andy, don't stop, big stud. Andy's sitting in for Alan Sliwa. That's a Boogie Nights reference.
I know it's a Boogie Nights reference.
I hope it wasn't a directive.
ESPNLA.com. Get your Mandy's tickets. $25. Be in the house Saturday night at the Commerce Casino. Everybody in attendance getting this awesome rally towel. Plus, an amazing limited edition, never before seen ESPNLA t-shirt. Plus, we got other accoutrement that's going to be in the goodie bag.
Not accoutrement.
And you want to stick your hand in the goodie bag always. See what kind of goodies you get. You know what I'm saying? Should we give away some tickets now, Em?
Let's do it.
ESPNLA.com. Buy your Mandy's tickets. But if you are caller number 7, 8, and 9 at 877-710-ESPN right now, you're going to hear the lovely voice of producer Emily, and you're going to win a pair of tickets Saturday night at the Commerce Casino for the 3rd annual Mandy Awards. Now, here's the thing. Don't call and win if you can't go, because then that's just dumb.
Makes sense.
Unless you're trying to win them so you can sell on the secondary market. But you know what? Not a lot of time left for those eBay
You're
posts.
the guy with the long trench coat. You open it up.
The watches hanging in
Mandy's
the
tickets.
liner of
That's
the
my
jacket.
outfit for the post game, but that's a whole other thing. 877-710-ESPN.
How many costume changes for you?
As of now, 2.
2?
Potentially 3.
Okay.
Like J-Lo.
Well, last year was
Or the Dundies.
Last year was 3.
How many for you, Andy?
Just one.
One change or just one outfit?
One outfit.
Okay.
One outfit.
If you want, you can come and you can use my changing room. I'll show you how it works in there.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure
We'll play a little
will.
England Dan, John Ford Coley. You'll walk in and
What is it, like one of those magician chambers where you have to go behind the door and something happens, or you just
Something definitely happens.
Something magical will happen.
All right.
And I'll say the magic is on those tapes.
You are not pulling a rabbit out of this hat, sir.
You'd be shocked. Anyway,
you're here tomorrow, right, Andy?
I am here tomorrow.
We should have some Boogie Nights specific live imaging for Andy when he appears.
we usually do. There's
a lot going on right now.
Well, there is a lot going on, but we'll try.
All right.
We'll try. Has Slee ever seen Boogie Nights?
My guess would be he has not.
I'd love to do a private, not shoot, but a private screening at your house. Actually, that should be the next time we do plan one of those parties. We tell him, oh, yeah, we're going to watch college football. And then when he walks in, we just hit the button, lights off, and it just opens up.
I don't think that
Can I
movie's
please
for
be
Al.
there?
Yes.
Please, can I be
You're invited. You're
Thank
invited.
you.
I wonder how he'll
don't
take
know.
the ending.
You talking about the bank parking lot? That ending? That part?
No, I'm talking about the ending.
Oh,
but the
yeah.
bank parking lot.
Do you think Sliwa sees himself as a big, bright, shining star?
Probably. Oh no, he does. No, the one of the little things is that one of the stickers on that truck in that scene. There's a Dodge, like a classic Dodger sticker on the rear window,
Like the one with the baseball going
yes,
in the air?
when they pan over.
It's a very, very intense scene.
Hey,
I
man,
don't know
so
if
what do
I've
you-
ever noticed.
What do you want to do?
Stop.
You guys finish this up. Anyway, Orel Hershiser, I believe, is joining us at 12:30
Excellent.
for his weekly visit on the Travis
Excellent.
Show.
Looking forward to talk. Ooh, wait, what? Those pizzas? I can't tell. I just saw somebody holding something low.
It's our friends for their weekly stop by from Ike's.
Oh,
sandwiches.
Ike's sandwiches.
Oh,
okay, sure. Who says no to an Ike's sandwich?
Definitely not you.
That's for sure. That is for sure. So Mookie gets hit in the hand. The shortstop experiment was, and you and I think, are on the same page on this. What he was doing is beyond exceptional. That he was able to even hold his own over there and continue to be an offensive threat like Mookie Betts is exceptional. The fact of the matter is the numbers will tell you he was a slightly below average defensive shortstop, just according to the numbers. Now, he could have continued to get better, that he hasn't played shortstop since high school, that he did it at the big league level with very little spring training, et cetera, et cetera. Had you not had the setback of him being on the rack for 8 weeks potentially, maybe more, maybe less, then maybe you see if it starts to come back up and he is league average and he is doing the things, then you could maybe kind of say, okay, let's roll it. But him being down for 6, 8, 10 weeks or whatever the number may be, doesn't that kind of put an end to the experiment of him at shortstop? Because he just does. That's 2 months where he's not going to have on-the-job training.
It is unfair to Mookie Betts for him to just get dropped into that situation with like a month left before you start the playoffs. Oh, go back to playing that position that you were learning on the job. Like, that he's managed to do something this difficult as well as he, like, if he had managed to put out a season where by the end of it, or let's say the last 3 months of the season, he had been league average or slightly above league average defensively at shortstop, this is not hyperbole. It might be the most impressive thing I've seen a player ever do.
Well, think about it. He was the betting favorite to win the MVP, in large part because of that, and it wasn't quite league average. It was slightly below league average.
I know that you could use an upgrade over him defensively at shortstop. And, like, was he good enough in a vacuum? No. But he also was not a disaster either.
No, far from it. Far from it.
But the idea that you can go from playing right field to then second base to then shortstop at the major league level on a team with all the expectations in the world, basically learning on the fly, that is incredible.
Fair or unfair? Get into it. Let in an alternate reality, Mookie stays healthy and he gets to, he's in capable major league shortstop, league average. Yeah. Okay. Which, like you said, extraordinary, but it's fine. You go into a postseason, best of 5, best of 7, and there's a hiccup. He makes a bad play. He makes an error, throwing error, fielding error, or he's just slightly out of position, or whatever it may be, and you lose the series because of it. Is that a catastrophe because you had a right fielder playing shortstop all season long, or is that shortstops occasionally make errors and he just happened to make an error?
How routine is this play?
It's neither an Ozzie Smith level, desperation thing, and it's not a ground ball between his legs.
Like,
it's an error,
right? But
he spikes a throw.
But is it the type of error that, let's say, the team the Dodgers played against and lost, let's say the Padres, that you saw the Padres shortstop make the exact same error over the course of that series? Okay. Like, does this feel like an error that shortstops make because shortstop is really effing hard? Like, is it one of those things, or is it one of those, he made an error because he's overthinking this because he's not actually a shortstop?
Thankfully, I don't even know which emotion to assign to this. I don't think it's going to matter because they're going to have to address it. Either Miguel Ross had a good night last night. When he plays, the Dodgers are highly successful, so we'll see. He has a lot of little smaller injuries that seem to bubble up, so maybe they make a deal, maybe they don't. But I can't imagine 2 months of watching baseball and not playing short. And because he comes back middle of August, you're getting towards the end of the line. I can't imagine, as willing and his game and as team-oriented as he has been, to ask him to do that feels like a bridge too far. It really does.
Yeah, it's a shame, though. I really wanted to see how this whole season would play out with him doing it.
All right, speaking of the Dodgers, more Dodger conversation. Our pal Orel Hershiser is going to join us next. It's Travis Slee. Andy's in for Slee on 710 ESPN.
Just being arrested for
.710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. This fall, the new home of the USC Trojans.
The new home of the USC Trojans.
The Trojans are back.
The USC Trojans play on LA's mega sports station.
That's right. USC football, USC men's basketball, and USC women's basketball are on 710 ESPN coming this fall.
710 ESPN, the new home of the USC Trojans.
Travis and Sliwa on 710 ESPN.
Look forward to doing this each and every week. One of my favorite people to talk to about my favorite subject to talk about. Talking about Orel Hershiser joining us right now. How you feeling, Orel?
How you guys doing?
We are fantastic. Andy Kamenetsky in for Slee today. Orel, take me through what it's like being on a team when you see one of your guys, one of your best guys, go down the way that Mookie did over the weekend.
Well, you don't play with only 8 players still, so somebody has to go out there and do it, right?
Yep.
And the attitude on the team is everybody's just got to pick it up. And the guy that replaces him, he feels like, you know what, I can do this. I'm a big leaguer. You know, the reason a star is a star is because of the consistency of the excellence. But the reason guys are in the big leagues is they have the ability to do it on a daily basis. They just don't do it as often. So when you put a guy out there, maybe he doesn't have, 80 speed, maybe he doesn't have 80 power, maybe he doesn't have an 80 fastball, but all of a sudden he does have big league ability or he wouldn't be on the roster. And it's not like we're going down and groping around the minors trying to find a body. I mean, Miguel Rojas can do this, and it feels like when you're a teammate, when you say we can still go do this, you feel like you're ripping on the guy that got hurt, and you're really not. It's just the mindset that you've got to have.
We were talking, Orel, before you came on about just the ask of Mookie Betts playing shortstop, having never done it before, basically learning on the job at the big league level. Like, can you put into just perspective how difficult of a job that is and what you saw from Mookie this season?
Well, I think it's difficult, but they're not asking him to do it. He volunteered to do it.
True.
So that, first of all, the attitude was there. Second of all, he was not moving from right field. He was moving from second base, where he had already been in the infield since he was a little kid, taking ground balls. So I'm not downgrading anything as far as him volunteering and him going about it. But to be a big league shortstop it's the highest level of execution. It's the highest level of strategy. It's the highest level of, on a day in and day out basis, to get the job done, where the ball usually arrives more often than other positions. So, yeah, it was a fantastic adventure, and I think it might still even exist. I mean, it's not automatically that they're going to go out and go find a shortstop. It's not automatic that Miguel Rojas, will all of a sudden move aside. I think that there's a chance that Mookie could come back and do it. I heard you guys before I came on saying, how can you be off for 2 months and then come back and be asked to be at the shortstop? I'm like, well, there's already been challenges like that in his life. I don't know if we're going to have a problem accepting that challenge. I think the only thing that's going to matter is what the Dodgers can construct the roster like when he's back and healthy. If they can get like an unbelievable shortstop by then, if they can't get an unbelievable shortstop by then you have to go with your needs.
It's funny because it would be an extraordinary ask and an extraordinary accomplishment if he could do it. But, listening to you on the broadcast, Orel, and talking to you and listening to Mookie talk about it, after games and stuff, and just, hearing him say, guys, this is really hard. And not that he's looking for sympathy, just simply matter of fact, what I'm trying to do is very, very difficult. To have 2 months to where you couldn't, do the pregame stuff with Dino Weeble, to not just get all the in-game reps that you would get over, whatever it is, 45, 50, 55 games, and then go back out there, that seems just bananas to me, Orel.
These are big leaguers. These are world-class athletes, so it's not bananas to me at all. I'm serious. That challenge is something that people like us kind of crave. And I know you're trying to evaluate it from maybe ability that has run through your body or others that you've watched, but these are different animals. These are different guys, and those kind of challenges are there. Now, there have been world championship teams that have had rookies at shortstop. Mm-hmm. There have been world championship teams that have had rated shortstops or weren't the best in the league. There have been world championship teams that have had older shortstop. Billy Russell played shortstop with a broken finger and used to just launch the ball over there to Steve Garvey, and Garvey would pick everything. They were always told, never make a high throw to Garv because he's not tall enough, but always throw the ball in the dirt. So every one of those throws from those infielders, from Lopes, from Say, from Russell, were always supposed to be down, and they were. They weren't the best shortstops in the world, but they got it done. And so there's always a way to get it done if you have an attitude. And I know as fans and as talk radio, we want to critique it and create an issue so we can talk about it some more. But as an athlete and as now a broadcaster, I walk this line between what I feel and I know is going on in that locker room and what I know the fans want to worry about or what they want to critique.
I guess then with that in mind, when you think about where the Dodgers are right now and some of the needs that they have or the relative weaknesses, do you see them as issues that require a deal, bringing in somebody new, or do you think there are opportunities to improve internally?
I don't know if there's opportunities to improve internally other than Mookie getting healthy. I think that that's what you're probably going to end up doing. I think, it all depends. See, I don't know what's going on out there in the trade market. I don't know what goes on when one organization calls another. I don't know what the Dodgers are willing to give up and how big the need is. And that equation is like a moving train on a daily basis because somebody could have another key injury. Somebody could fall out of a race for a wild card. All that stuff is going to start to define itself more and more as we go into the season. So you're talking about an abstract that we really can't, pin down. And I can't give an opinion because my opinion would be like, oh, did you hear what Hershiser said about this? Well,
right.
My opinion would be wrong tomorrow. My opinion would be definitely wrong in a week. But so there's that scenario of you just can't nail it down. I mean, you got me in a player's mood right now because I'm in a baseball uniform taping a commercial for Capozio Buick GMC.
Excellent.
I'm in a baseball uniform taping a commercial for Rotolo Chevrolet, and I've got a dream sequence. I'm not going to give away the commercial, but it's the dream of one of our owners to do something to me, and he is in this commercial fully, pointing something at me, angry, and I'm not going to give away the commercial, but it's going to be outstanding.
So you've got
I'm just telling you, I'm not wearing eye black.
So you've got the Rotolo spot that you're shooting, the Capozio Buick GMC spot.
I don't stop my day for you very often, but you happen to be one of my favorite radio fans and friends.
That's very nice of you to say.
I stop for you.
My question is, since you're doing it, why not do a Legends Attic spot while you're there?
Fernando Valenzuela is your favorite player. It's okay.
Now I'm starting to get a complex about that, Orel. I got to tell you, I feel like I've hurt your feelings, and that was never my intent.
Oh, you totally hurt my feelings. Don't worry about it. But you know what?
I'll try to earn you.
Mexican than Fernando.
I will try to.
I was born on September 16th, Mexican Independence Day.
All right.
So I tell him that all the time.
I've got a question for you. Talking about going back to the.
Oh, no.
No. This is a good one. You're going to like this, I think. Who knows? We'll see. The big leaguers look at it differently. The professional athletes, right? All that stuff. There are big leaguers. Then there's like Mookie, just super mega stars, and then there's Otani. Is there anything you've seen from him this year that is like you got to be like surprised, even as a fellow professional athlete, a highly successful one, that you look at that guy and like, what in the world is going on over there?
Well, he's like I don't know. He's like a figure that you go, how does this guy fail? Because he raises the bar so high on a daily basis when you watch him perform. And then when he goes into a little slump where he goes like 1 for 12 with, 2 for 12, I think he was with 2 home runs. Didn't have a good series, only had 2 home runs. And it's like the guy has raised the bar so high for himself, and so is Mookie, and so is Freddie. I mean, Freddie's in a slump and he's hitting 300. Are you serious? There's only probably there's maybe 10 300 hitters in the big leagues, and he's in a slump when he's hitting only 300 instead of 320. So Otani's at that level. He's at that level of expectation of every at-bat is must-watch TV. Everything he does is must-watch TV. He has people watching his rehab, like 30 camera guys from Japan, watching him play catch. I mean, seriously, he's Kevin Costner.
It just doesn't. Every time I watch, every night I'm like, wait, he's only doing half of what he typically does too, and he might win the MVP anywhere.
Well, I think being a Dodger has inspired him.
Yeah.
I think knowing that we're going to be in the playoffs, knowing that the people around him are of the quality that can lead to a championship, knowing that he's playing for an organization that will do anything possible to keep him healthy, to keep him locked in, to protect him, to put him in his own baseball utopia. So I think it has really brought another level of expectation to himself that is fun to see.
So today is the 10th anniversary of Clayton Kershaw pitching his no-hitter against the Colorado Rockies. I'm looking here. You threw a no-hitter against Kent State on May 4th, 1979. How close did you get?
It's a little different level.
A little bit. How close did you get in the big leagues to having one? How deep into a game did you take one before somebody got a knock?
Seven innings, give up the hit in the eighth. I think I threw back-to-back two hitters or something against San Diego where I think even both starts were against Dave Dravecki.
Oh, really?
There's some interesting stories there we'll probably have to share for another day, so let's just tease the audience. But the one of them was a defensive replacement at first base, and he had come in from another position, and then there was a ground ball right to him, and he broke to the bag to cover first instead of getting the ground ball, and that ended up being the hit. But there's all kinds of fun stuff like that, you know.
When did you start to think like
the big leagues is a weird place, right? There's a lot going on behind the scenes that you guys don't know about but that are fun to reveal now every once in a while.
Were you one of those guys that like, dude, leave me alone, don't talk to me when I got this going, or were you okay if somebody would chat you up?
Oh, with the Kent State one, I made a wrong foot swinging bunt play out in front of the mound and threw the guy out, and I started chirping to everybody on the team, I'm going to throw a no-hitter today if I make that play.
So that's the other side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it. I'm
I got
announcing
reminded, while I was cutting this commercial for Rotolo, I got reminded of a story, and the story was when I came back from my surgery, I had incentives, and from start 29 to 35, I was going to make $250,000. And Eric Karros was a rookie first baseman when I was doing this, and so I was on my 29th start warming up, and so after my warm-ups, I knew I was going to make $250,000 for making that first pitch. So after the warm-up, I called Eric Karros into the mound. I said, hey, pick up that rosin bag and just make sure that it looks like you're doing something here. But I just want you to know you're making $160,000 this year, and on this first pitch, I'm going to make $250,000. I'll go back and play first base.
See, this is terrific.
And Eric has a last laugh. Eric has a last laugh because he did way better in his investments than I did.
I love the pimping that goes on. It's fantastic. So, Rotolo,
that was, we had hazing back in our day. Now they come up to the big leagues and they're like, what do you need, son? What do you need, daughter? What do you need this? Everybody, they treat them like gold, which is a better culture. But it's just a different culture than we grew up in.
How long were you in the big leagues before you felt like you were in the big leagues?
Wow. I'd say 2-3 years. Once you know you belong, which my second full year I was 19-3. So you start to really feel like you belong then.
Yeah, that's
you
probably
start to feel like you belong.
So Rotolo commercial.
Steve Sachs did ruin that 20th win, but I won't talk about it.
not that you've carried it with you for a while. Not anything like that.
No, I don't remember that double play ball to him where he dropped it. I do not remember that at all.
See, this is why Travis worries so much about Mookie. That was Sachs.
I'm preoccupied. I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter how much they pay us, where we play, how manicured the field is. If there's 50,000 feet there, we're still human beings. And they still make mistakes, and they still want to do it. I promise you, your expectations of them is lower than their expectations of themselves.
That's why I feel okay about it. So when you're shooting the commercials today, when are we going to see them for Capozio and Rotolo? When will they be on? What's the turnaround time?
Well, my part, I can do everything in one take, but Mike Capozio, he takes a lot of different takes. He has to break for lunch.
Come on, Mike.
They needed to go out and get him a new wardrobe because he didn't think his uniform fit correctly. Everything is going well, though. But he's paying the freight, man. He pays the freight for the ESPN commercials. He pays the freight for the television commercials. He's a fantastic owner, and everybody should see and come out and see where the fun is all about at Rotolo Chevrolet and Capozio Buick GMC. One's in Victorville, one's in Fontana. And don't forget about in Claremont, there's this thing called Legends Attic.
I was just going to say, Orel, when you on your way out to the 909, swing through Legends Attic. I know that we're going to try to get out there before too long and do it all over again. Looking forward to it.
I think we're going to have, maybe Darryl Strawberry. We're trying to sign some other athletes. We're trying to make it a fan experience. And we're actually treating the athlete, because we have a possible athlete that's a part owner. That might be me.
Okay.
We know how athletes want to be treated,
Uh-huh.
and so we're going to treat them with a lot of respect and take care of them so they want to come out. And that if they want to come out to us, then we're going to get more celebrities and athletes for fans. So it's going to be a good relationship.
Does it make you feel
I
better?
appreciate you guys very much. I got to go back to shooting this commercial.
Okay.
I apologize.
You want it on
got
set.
You
I
got
gotta
it
go-
on set.
I got to go pretend like I can pitch still.
All right. I just want to make sure that you know I like you more than Daryl Strawberry.
Well, yeah, but less than Fernando.
Well, look, we're moving up the ranks. Thanks, Orel.
Thank you, Orel.
If I can get on Travis's top 10, I feel all right.
No, you're definitely
See
in
you
the
later.
top 10. It's just, Fernando. We'll talk to you next
Oh,
week.
my God.
Thanks, Orel.
All right, bye.
You got it. I know he's very right about it. So we'll talk about this when we come back. But here's the deal. He talked about the guy who vacated the first base spot to go to the bag instead of picking up the ground ball. He talked about Steve Sachs blowing a double play ball into a situation. Those are the feelings that I carry around. Don't. So I know that they're a lot better at this than I ever was, but it was that same thing. Like, I did what I need you to pick up that ground ball. I need you to be in that spot. I need you to turn that double play, and you carry it around for a very long time. We'd love to have seen him throwing shade at Kent State after throwing a no-hitter.
I'm throwing a no-hitter.
No in your ass. It's happening right now. The Dump Super Crosstalk coming up next. It's Trav and Slee. Andy's in for Slee on 710 ESPN. Speaking of Rotolo Chevrolet, our good friend Orel Hershiser, you just heard him right there. He, of course, is partners at Rotolo Chevrolet with Mike Capozio, who he was just talking about right there. And Mike is an unbelievable owner because of all of the reasons that Orel mentioned. That this is somebody that just does not miss a chance to impress his customers, that just does not miss a chance to make sure that you feel like you're the most important person on that lot, because to them, that's exactly what you are, right? They want to make sure that you get the Chevy car truck, like I'm driving the Silverado right now, that you get exactly what you want and exactly the price that you're comfortable with. And, of course, customer service that is second to none. 13 years in a row, Rotolo Chevrolet has won Dealer of the Year. And that's because of Mike Capozio. And that's because everybody on the Rotolo Chevrolet team, that they want you to feel comfortable, transparent, courteous, upfront. You're going to love what happens at Rotolo Chevrolet. So get on out to the store. Right off the 210 freeway, Sierra Avenue exit. You absolutely cannot miss it. And if Fontana's maybe a little bit out of your neighborhood, get online, rotolochevy.com, ROTOLO, rotolochevy.com, and tell them that Travis sent you.
6 goals for Denis.
710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. This fall, the new home of the USC Trojans.
The new home of the USC Trojans.
The Trojans are back.
The USC Trojans play on LA's mega sports station.
That's right. USC football, USC men's basketball, and USC women's basketball are on 710 ESPN coming this fall.
710 ESPN, the new home of the USC Trojans.
For everything we haven't gotten to today, yes, it's time for the dump.
All right, so as mentioned, today is the 10th anniversary of Orel Hershiser. Clayton Kershaw, another Dodger great. I have Orel Hershiser on the brain. Clayton Kershaw throwing his no-hitter against the Colorado Rockies. And it was one of those times that, the Dodgers don't really operate like this because they're a real team. They will tell you as the viewer, hey, this guy's got a no-hitter going, right? The other teams will say, oh, something's going on out here. Guys, there's no such thing as an announcer. The guy's pitching. It's fine. But I remember that game with Kershaw and this was prime Kershaw, just prime Kershaw, which is a pretty high level. By about the third or fourth inning, you could tell this dude is probably not going to give up a hit tonight, unless it's just one of those little broken bat, little flare kind of things. And he's just setting him down. And then Hanley Ramirez makes an error at short, and it was the only guy that got on base. Or not that a no-hitter is anything other than awesome, but it was about as complete and commanding of a pitching performance as you're ever going to see, and it probably should have been a perfecto.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, because I vaguely remember that game, Hanley felt awful. He felt horrible about this.
How could you not? You get a guy, because first of all, no-hitters, incredible skill, perfect games, incredible. You got to get a little lucky. I think there's only been something like couple of dozen plus perfect games in history.
The last one was 2007?
Yeah, they don't. I'm not sure. You'd have to look that up. But they don't come around very often. And it wasn't a play it was a play that Hanley Ramirez would make 99 times out of 100, and it just plopped out, and that was it.
Wasn't Kershaw going either for a perfect game or a no-hitter a year or two ago?
Against the Twins, very early in the season.
Right, and they didn't have him do it because he already had one.
Yep.
Is that a good decision?
I think so. Well, by the way, it happens all the time. The guy for the Blanco, for the Astros, had a no-hitter through 6 or 7 innings, and it took him out of the game. It's...
Is it because you already have one, or is it because it's so early in the season?
For somebody like Kershaw, you have to be thinking about what's he going to look like, how much energy is he going to have in the playoffs. Specifically for Kershaw at this stage of his career, it's awesome for him to get a no-hitter, but you sometimes have to be the no-fun police if you really want to make sure Kershaw can be as effective as possible.
Kershaw is a very specific set of circumstances because he has one, because he's an older player.
Yeah.
But if it's a guy that's just having a night and you're like, okay.
If it's Yamamoto.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. Let's say Yamamoto comes back, 3 or 4 weeks from now, and he has a couple starts under his belt, and then all of a sudden he's out there and he's hitless through 6, but they have a hard stop at 90 pitches. That dude's coming out of the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
He is 100% coming out of the
and
game.
You know what's also cool? I love a perfect inning. I think that is so cool as well. What's 9 total pitches?
That's the immaculate inning,
Sorry,
9
that's
pitches.
What I meant to say,
Yeah. That's really hard.
Because Scherzer had one as a Dodger in 2021.
Yeah, three up, 3 down, 3 up, 3 down, 3 up, 3 down. 9 pitches, 9 strikes, 3 strikeouts. Not easy to do. Not easy to do. Have you ever been to a random game where something like that, a no-hitter? Because I've seen one no-hitter with my own 2 eyeballs, and it was Kent Mercker of the Atlanta Braves against the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. And about the 7th inning, Susan's like, and the Dodgers were getting their clocks clean that night. It was something like 6 or 7-0. And she's like, can we go? I'm like, what, are you out of your mind? She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, that guy's got to know. He's like, yeah, but he's pitching for the other team. I'm like, I understand that, but we're not leaving while a guy, and he closed the show. He threw a no-hitter.
Okay, this is not historic in the way the achievements we're talking about before, but just truly random awesomeness that I happened to be at a game for, and not covering the game. I was in the stands with friends of mine.
Yeah.
Remember Hong-Chi Kuo, the reliever for the Dodgers, left-handed Korean?
Vaguely, yeah.
He was in the mid-2000s, Taiwanese. I'm sorry, Taiwanese. In the mid-2000s. He was a relief pitcher. So this is somebody who barely batted to begin with.
Okay.
Beyond just the fact that he's a pitcher.
Yeah.
He hits a home run and he flips his bat like he does this all the time. That was amazing to actually be able to watch. And unlike a lot of games that I was at for the Dodgers where I'm working, I could actually react to this
enjoy
thing.
it.
Yeah, Kuo flipping his bat like this is just what Hong Chi-Kuo does, was awesome.
Baseball finally has gotten to the point where if you hit a home run, you want to flip your bat, knock yourself out. Thank goodness it was. It's who cares, right? You did something hard. Hitting a home run's pretty hard.
Yeah.
You want to flip your bat. And by the way, if you strike that guy out and you want to pump your fist, that's fine too.
Yeah, it was the rare time where they actually, for whatever reason, they had to send him to the plate. It was amazing.
Jorge, I don't know if you will celebrate this privately or you choose to do this in your own special way, but today is the anniversary of the date in 2004, June 18th, where The Terminal was released. One of your favorite.
That's a bad movie.
One of your favorite Spielberg movies.
I'm gonna watch it tonight. Actually, why not?
That was the
Diego
second
Luna.
one. You took Hook and The Terminal.
I wasn't going to take The Terminal.
The Terminal was that was an awful movie. It's just guy in an airport terminal.
And he's just like fixing things.
Just living in there. Weird.
It's Greg's favorite movie too. He'll defend it to the day he dies.
You had to be in
And Greg's over there nodding his head. Yeah.
You had to be in one place for, let's say, a month, like a facility where that you have to live and you can't leave. What are you picking? I think I have the answer to this.
Okay, I would like God. I don't know.
Is the answer not Walmart?
Oh, Walmart
or Costco.
Or Costco. I've never been to a Costco. I would love to go to a Costco.
Costco's not bad, but like
don't they have all the free samples and stuff?
Well, you got all food. Both places have food.
Yep.
Both places have entertainment, but what? Well, I guess they have all the TVs and electronics, but like you got ping pong
but
tables.
neither has mattresses, do they?
Costco
does. Well,
definitely
Walmart
does.
Have mattresses.
Walmart has everything.
They might.
Futons.
Walmart probably. They have a place you could
They have
sleep in Walmart.
air mattresses.
I wouldn't be shocked.
No,
if they
no.
had
I'm
it.
telling you, you go to like my wife is from deep South Texas, like the town she grew up in, McAllen. It's basically on the border of Mexico.
Yep.
The Walmart near them, they have when I say everything, I mean it is like 10 square blocks.
Right.
It is the most amazing thing I've ever seen as far as just a store.
Super Walmart.
Yeah, it is astonishing.
That is the grocery store attached to it.
Yeah,
too.
a grocery store.
Grocery store, the hardware
most Walmarts
store.
have a grocery store.
With one in my neighborhood does not.
Really?
Like, no.
I've never been in a Walmart that
Lots
doesn't
of
have a
them.
grocery
Lots of
store.
them do.
A lot of them. The one in my neighborhood, they have lots of food, but it's like snacks and packaged
Yeah,
stuff.
no, I have a
groceries.
The one that I grew
no
up
fresh
in.
meats.
Well, the many Walmarts that I grew up around had full grocery stores. There's not a Walmart in Los Angeles, like
proper
the city.
Yeah,
and so I haven't been to one since I moved out here.
You know what we should do, Jorge?
Yeah, go to Walmart.
Let's
go.
Crosstalk.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins. Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
My favorite thing from the show today.
Yeah.
Was it your profile picture is a painting you sold, or
I prefer the original FaceTime. It's called a painting.
a painting?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
So
good.
apparently Emily's got a set that she's working on for the Mandys where it's just going to be calling
Travis
me
is old.
Calling me old. She's going
to do like an Andy Kamenetsky 21-minute stand-up routine.
She says a tight 3.
Yeah.
She says a tight 3 minutes. I heard her
Are
say
these
it.
going to be original compositions, or are you going to...
I might get input some from some people, but
So-
you know how all comedians have people that weigh in, so I'll have other people help too.
So why bag on Trav? Why don't you? Are you doing anything
Thank
on
you,
Slee? You
Mace.
doing any
No,
Slee riff?
it's just that Travis is so old. Travis is so old.
How old
That's
is
going
he?
to be the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's
All
good.
right, just don't do what Andy did. Don't go like if everyone starts looking at their watch.
Yep.
You know that's
I'll
time
have a
to
timer.
go.
I'll have a
I
timer.
I don't
thought you
recall
did great,
anybody
Andy.
looking at their
I
watch.
was
I was looking at my watch. I was like,
you
what time
obviously
is
were not
it?
looking at me.
Yeah. By the way, Andy, I think you've gotten a bad rap for. You made me laugh. Now they claim that if you go back and look at the tape,
21 minutes 14 seconds.
that you were 21 minutes and
It
14
did not feel
seconds.
like because honestly, I think I would have been
It
self-conscious.
felt like an hour to me.
You were not.
Yeah, felt like an hour. It was only 24 minutes, but felt like an hour.
What did you do? See, I got to work in more.
No. Are you guys doing a set again?
Well, I don't know. I mean, with this sort
Have
of
you been
treatment-
asked?
We have been asked. we've been asked.
5
we've been
to
approved.
7 has been the allotted time.
5 to 7 minutes.
Look, all I can say is
That's when I'll go to the bar.
Morales saw our set list. Not only did he approve it, he told us to lengthen it.
He approved the jokes themselves.
Chris disagrees with this assessment.
I've got paper trails to show you.
You got a paper trail?
He's got receipts.
Yeah.
Wow.
Morales was on a Google Doc that we had this.
Oh, a shared Google. Sure.
He actually said to us, hey, I can see you guys are cutting material, whatever. I want you to have more time. And then he said, by the way, can you add some stuff about Bergman?
Oh,
So he
yeah, add
actually
some Bergman
asked us to
material?
add material.
You need
Is
some
this
Bergman
accurate,
material.
Chris?
Oh, here comes
It is
around.
accurate.
John, does this mean
Live
that you
Imaging
leave because
Tuesday.
you
I
only
got
do
the
4
paper
people?
trail.
What's that?
Does this mean that you leave because you only do 4
I want that
people?
towel. I want to wave
I
that
only
towel.
do with crosstalk. I know you only like to have a maximum of 4 people.
Oh yeah, but,
Yeah, but this is-
Live Imaging
It's
Tuesday
Morales.
This is
Oh,
also
yeah.
really quick. I can't believe we have to do this again.
So is that accurate?
Andy
You-
is
you
lying.
asked
Tell
him to go
everybody
longer.
why
He's not lying. He's just not giving the whole context.
Okay.
I was on the Google Doc. We allotted 5 minutes. Actually, I think the original allotment was like 3 minutes. And I said, why don't you guys go, this is really good stuff, go 5 to 7. Find me the place where I said go 21 minutes, please.
Find me the place where he said, hey, this looks like it's too long. Maybe you should cut it as opposed to.
Never
No, I
say
think he's
add
making
material.
He's saying
So if somebody
that
says
this
5 to
year's
7
set is 7
No, it
minutes
says 7
long.
minutes.
Yeah. That's what he says.
Again,
They've written 7
That's
minutes of
that's
material.
about 5 minutes too long.
At any point, Chris, you could have said, hey, this looks like it might be going over, as opposed to, hey, why don't you add more material?
Oh.
Wait a minute. How did we go from, I said go 5 to 7 minutes. You went 21.
I
don't know how long.
His,
Wait a minute. Whoa, whoa,
his
whoa.
allegation is that you saw what was in there, and that you said go longer, add material,
which is true.
No, I didn't look at the length of your material. I said this is funny stuff. Go 5. So you wrote it based on 3 minutes, did you not?
You knew we were cutting it because we were concerned about it being
And I
too
said 5
long.
to 7 minutes. Don't worry about cutting it.
And
I don't know
add
how long.
material.
I don't know
And
how
add
long.
material.
I said 1. Add.
Did
something
you add
else.
something about Bergman?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
what I
okay.
said. I said add something about Bergman.
Yeah.
I didn't
But
say
you
add
also said,
material.
don't worry about the stuff you're cutting.
Again, how am I supposed to know how long your copy is? I
You're
don't know how you
taking
deliver
a
it.
look at it all.
No, if somebody
How
writes
long
copy,
did it take you to read it?
if somebody not 21 minutes. If somebody writes, it took me 60 seconds. I looked at it.
Well, I mean, it's not like we went rogue and
Well,
added 15
it
minutes.
sounds like
in a
there's
row.
last year where it was like the winds of war.
Yeah.
And it was
Exactly.
like Kamenetsky's of Arabia. Now this year you're
It
only
was
going to
their
do
own
7
personal
minutes.
Ishtar.
It's much shorter.
Was the Ishtar long or just crappy?
No, it wasn't crappy, but it was so friggin' long. It was like 21 minutes. I have emceed a lot of stuff. Death is when one person goes longer than 5 minutes. It's just death. And Andy went 21 minutes.
I mean, the crowd didn't seem to think it was death.
I was in the crowd.
The crowd the crowd that stayed.
A lot of people did not say last year.
I
Oh,
could
they're
say
rough.
something,
Boy,
and I'm just
you
gonna
are
leave it
getting
alone.
hammered
I'm gonna
right
leave it
now.
alone.
Damn.
You did not think how this was going to go like
No,
this.
I mean,
today.
look, I'm going
It's
to take
gang
the
up
high.
on Andy
I
Day.
thought you did great, Andy.
I also laughed a lot.
I would beg you, do 5 minutes all on me, but just keep it to 5 minutes.
Our intention was for it to be that short. We were holding a lot.
Oh, really?
They were holding for applause, is his point.
Oh, I see. So you're saying it lasted 21 minutes because you
I
held
don't think
a
it
lot?
lasted 21 minutes, but
20
either way.
minutes,
Well, that's
21
not-
minutes and 14 seconds.
Yeah, they actually have
I
this
was going to
recorded.
say, if
It's
it's recorded,
recorded.
that's not debatable. It's
Yeah.
when
I've
as long
never
as it
seen
went.
this alleged recording.
All right, if we can prove to you that it went 21 minutes, do you promise you'll cap it at 5 this year?
We tried to cap it at 5 last year. We weren't going for
what
20
can
minutes.
get us to you to cap it at 5
I don't know,
this year?
Morales actually reading the rundown and approving.
No,
it
you know what? They
cut
should
more?
just turn their mics off.
Well,
Just
like
turn
the
their
debate.
mics off.
Like
Like the debate's going to be. Just turn off their
If
mics.
you guys remember, I did walk out at one point during their thing when Tommy was screaming at me, end this.
Look,
Yeah,
Tommy was screaming
Tommy,
and
Tommy was pacing.
Tommy was pacing more
we
for the
don't-
content.
Look, we're
Yeah. Oh,
doing.
yeah, it
he was a little
we
little
more
are
on
doing
edge,
this
yeah.
for you. We don't have
For
to do
me?
this. Yes.
Well, for everybody, not
For
just
the-
for
for
the
the
listeners, for our
the
I
community.
mean, no, I mean for Chris in
La
the sense
familia.
of this is part of the show Chris is
I didn't
creating.
know it was for me.
No, it's part of the show
For
Chris
you,
is
Chris.
creating. This was an ask of us. We didn't. It's not like we went up to Chris and said
It sounds
we
like
should
you have
roast.
a very unique opportunity here, Morales.
Yeah.
You could say,
You could say-
"Thanks
you could
for
pull the
last
plug."
year. We don't need it this year.
It's fine.
Here's the
No,
thing.
we need it.
I don't recall
Well,
me.
who is we? Why?
I liked it.
You liked all 21
Yes,
minutes?
very much.
I liked like the first 7, you should have quit. The first 7, turn your mic off, walk away. Drop your mic and walk away.
While I think I'm
Kamenetsky's out.
While I think I'm quite brilliant, I don't remember me thinking on my own we should have the Cams do a roast. I feel like it was an idea.
I promise
maybe,
it was not us who
No,
came
I know,
up with
but
it.
maybe it was corporate Greg thought of it. Somebody thought of it and came
The
and
point
said
being,
it.
we were requested to do this.
Yes,
it's not
correct.
like we demanded to do
Correct,
a roast and we
I
weren't
think.
going
Are
to
you
show
guys
up.
sure that you didn't offer your services?
No, I'm positive we
This
didn't
reminds
offer
me-
services.
This reminds me of one of the funniest things of all time. When Elgin Baylor got his statue outside of Crypto, Bill Withers, the singer, was a friend of his.
Lovely day.
I've got fun. Has that
Lovely
song?
day.
Lovely day. He's
Lean on me.
Yeah, lean on me.
on
He's
me,
got
of
he's
course.
got tons
Lean
of
on me,
hits.
yeah.
You want me to
Great,
lean on you?
great singer.
No,
so
thank you.
They do the ceremony, and they have it blocked out. The ceremony is at 6. The pregame show starts at 6:30. The game tips at 7. So they tell all the speakers, do not go more than 5 minutes. Bill Withers goes 24 minutes. And AJ,
Did he sing?
No, he didn't.
He didn't
just
even
told,
sing.
He didn't even get a song. He just told stories. And after it was over, I literally thought the producers at Spectrum were going to have a heart attack because they had all this content, that they
right.
And then it was basically Bill Withers gets done talking. Let's tip it off.
Right,
right. And the NBA, they're all freaking out because the NBA finds you if you start the game.
Yeah, I was going to say the NBA.
And
so the Kamenetskys are the Bill Withers
they
of
are
the Mandy
They're the
Awards.
Bill Withers
Yeah,
of
they're
the
like
Mandy's.
Hall of Fame, Grammy-winning legends.
Yeah.
Here's what's going to happen this year. At the 7-minute mark, music will start to play.
Okay.
And it's time to exit.
Then it'll get louder and louder and louder.
What about one of those?
And
like-
you'll thank your agent at the very end.
See, Mason
and I want
hates
to thank
that.
my team.
He thinks that the people at the Academy Awards should go as long as they want.
I do.
If it goes,
No,
if
no,
it
no,
goes
no,
7
no.
hours, Mason's okay
I'm
with that.
okay with it. Like, for example, I don't know, Sunday night, the Tony Awards run, the
Yeah.
speeches were really long, and I'm okay with it.
What about one of those long vaudeville hooks?
I'm
Where
in
you gotta
favor of that.
come in
I'm
there
in
and
favor
just-
of that. By the way, I don't think there's any reason at the Mandy's to talk for, 5 minutes is a long
We
time.
budget 60 seconds for acceptance speeches.
Good. I will stick to that if I happen to be on stage at any time.
How you feeling
We'll see.
about that?
Not good.
No.
You're
I
not
think-
feeling good?
No. I think either Slee or Cappy win Host of the Year.
I do too.
I really want Mason and Ireland to win Show of the Year. That would be
Why
a
are
bonus.
Slee and Cappy the front runners in your mind?
Cappy's, mounting people all the time.
No, he mounts me. I mean,
Mounts you. I guess
He does
just
your
you.
people. Yeah, but he's not just walking around mounting people.
He's eating glizzies and whatnot. And then on top of that, you've got Slee, who is actually not just doing Lakers pregame. He's doing his own Lakers postgame.
Right.
He's got
Is
his
he running
people.
a shadow campaign on
I
his
think
on his
if you
YouTube?
He
win-
won last year.
If you win Host of the Year, will you cry on stage?
Oh, me?
You. Sorry.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I will sob.
Will you sob?
Not sob.
Will you sob if you don't?
I will sob.
For the third straight
Yeah,
year.
no matter what, I'm going to cry after they announce Host of the Year, either out of victory or out of failure.
John, do you agree with the power rankings that it's Cappy and Al?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Circle of Trolls votes.
Don't call
Mason
them
doesn't like me
trolls.
to call them that because it's costing him votes.
No, I just don't think they're trolls. Like, I just went on the show with Casper Villa and Crypto Ray.
I'm shocked
The
you was
two
able to pull
dudes-
those two
two
names
dudes,
out.
one pod
I
show.
thought you were going to blank on their names.
I know, I know. I got it.
Well, we're going to talk about some things involving the Mandy's with you today.
Oh, good.
And then also, I still think I want to win the first ever most hated award. Now, last year I won the first ever
I think
personality
that's
of
a
the year.
two-horse race.
Yeah, I think it is.
Between
I think
Chris and
Bergman.
Oh, see, I was going to say me and Sonata.
No, it's you and Bergman.
No, if
And we pushed hard for Bergman.
yeah, we have been campaigning for Bergman to win most
for a
hated.
couple of years. We've been campaigning for.
Now,
and he wants it. It's kind of a perfect storm. He wants to win, and we're lobbying
And
for him.
Morales
Well,
wants
Chris
to win
wants
it
to win,
too.
too.
Well,
So
it's the first one.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
never forget the first award.
No,
winner.
of
It's like
Yeah,
the
it's like
in-season
the
tournament.
Andy and I went the exact same
Are
place.
you going to hang a banner in
The
your
IST.
office if you get it?
Well, I'll put the award in there.
Somebody sent me a tweet last night that said, who really had a better season? In-season tournament champions, Lakers. Play-in tournament champions, Lakers. Overall champs, Celtics.
Yeah, good point.
We win 2-1. We win.
F Boston.
If I win back-to-back, if I win personality of the year again for the back-to-back, and I win most hated, what does that say about the radio station?
We're effed. If the personality of the year is the most hated, I don't think that's a good sign for what we do here.
No, but that's
good though, because you want to be hated
right.
or loved.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
hated or
normally
loved,
what
right.
you want.
Hated or
Howard
loved.
Cosell used to win most popular and least popular
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah, so I guess for Morales, that would be a good sign.
So if you don't win anything, what kind of sign is that?
I don't know. I didn't win. The only thing I got last year.
You won bit of the year.
Yeah, it was. I had to take my clothes off in order to win a Mandy Award. I mean, this year I'm not getting undressed at any point.
Come on, give the people what they want.
Oh, no,
they don't want it.
No, they do.
Apparently they did.
They
I don't know. Show me somebody who wants to see that.
At that side of the building, they were
award
like,
speaks
just
for
a matter
itself.
of winning.
Yeah.
My hand is up.
Yeah, Morales is.
I'll go for another.
Makes one.
I'll go for another
Come on,
stripping.
man. Sex sells.
No, not happening.
Super
Not
Cross
happening.
Talks brought to you by
Sex
In and
sells.
Out. In and Out. That's what
When I think me, I think sex.
all about.